Hey, this is spooky as fuck. Is it? I hope everyone can hear me. This is only my second time like using Restream to stream to YouTube and Twitch. For me, there seems to be a delay. I'm seeing it on my little chat box before I'm seeing it. Like I'm seeing it on my OBS thing before I see it in chat for Restream. So that's interesting. That wasn't like that yesterday when I was testing. It was yesterday. Nope, day before yesterday. Something like that. Hi, welcome. Lighting will get a little fucky here because I have a Google Docs thing open, so like that's when you see sometimes my videos why I look like this, why the lighting looks like changed. It's because my monitor's putting light on me. And I'm afraid to play music because I'm afraid to get copyrighted from YouTube. Because that's why I went to YouTube safe music for my starting soon screen. So there's that. I wanted to make sure I was like, I don't want to get copy right for anything. And apparently, according to a lot of people, YouTube's doing like copyrights all out the wazoo lately. Oh, thank you for becoming a Ghostly Cooper. Thank you. That was on Twitch, right? Yeah, that's on Twitch because YouTube doesn't have followers. It's hi John, how are you? Hi Hood Santa, Ash. Hi, welcome to my second stream ever on YouTube. I've streamed on Twitch before. This Restream, I'm a little new to Restream, so we're figuring stuff out. But also like yeah, I'm gonna be answering questions because like I know when people watched my Hoarders reaction content, it was a little weird for the editing. My editing, I feel like in my other videos afterwards have like greatly improved, and that's because that was my first like time like actually using like DaVinci Resolve and actually editing, but also because I had to trim like 20 minutes off of it because YouTube didn't like I had to trim large sections because I kept like getting flagged like you can't use it like this, and so I was kind of learning the tricks of the trade to make everything okay to use to not get copyright struck or you know that. So I just didn't want to get in trouble. So yeah, thank you. Yes, I love my little bat necklace. Look at it's so cool. I'm not really a jewelry person a lot of times, but I love this bat necklace. It's probably one of the few necklaces I wear. And then this I got for my friend. It's a little choker thingy. It's like made of like plastic. She had some extra ones. She got like a bundle for super cheap, so she gave me one. It's very nice. But yeah, I really enjoyed the video. Thank you. I'm glad. I had to trim so much off that, you guys, you have no idea. So when they came after me for it initially, because they were like, they threatened my whole like channel, but I'm like, I have nothing to lose here. You're threatening to take away my channel and ban me off YouTube permanently, but like I'm not I don't understand. Like I was like, is this what like people who are like have a lot of subscribers and have to worry about getting copyright have to deal with like all the time? Because I had to type out, they underestimated how how so I logged every second of the episode that I used for the final video that I end up uploading it, and I think I logged every single fucking second, guys, of that episode of the 44-minute episode, which is split into two parts because there's two families they cover. My mom's episode is 22 minutes long. I used exactly 5 minutes and 29 seconds of the portion of her episode. So 44 minutes of the episode, I used 5 minutes and 29 seconds. And even with that, it's been edited down with like GIFs and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So, and I even included a list of everything I'd done to the footage. And granted, this was like the third time, right? Because they kept kicking it back and said like A&E, I believe is the people have it, are in the right, like whatever, because a real person wasn't really YouTube wasn't looking at it, it was just A&E, and they're like, no, we're in the right, and then YouTube was like, no, it falls under free use, she barely used actually, and a lot of the footage they were claiming was my personal footage that I took during the filming off my phone, and you can tell because it's not professional, because it's an old ass iPhone, and the footage is all warbly and shit. So like, I was like, they were claiming my pictures, they were claiming my video, they were claiming my voice, and I was like, they're claiming large chunks of this video that I'm not even like, it's just, some of it's just me talking. It's like 3 minutes straight of me just talking, and they're claiming that. I'm like, how could they claim that? I was like, this doesn't make sense. I was like, they don't own my experience. They don't own anything. My NDA expired. Which is why I couldn't talk about it for so long, because they make you sign stuff so you can't talk about it, by the way. Not because you can't talk about it personally, but you can't appear on shows. You can't post about it on social media. They don't want any of that. If you're sharing it with just your family and friends, that's fine. But you can't be posting about any of that stuff. You actually have to sign stuff, like, because they want the episode to air before you post anything about it, and then they wanted to have enough airtime to get all the views and make all the money from it before you can talk about it, right? So, but now they're no longer a show, from my understanding. But yeah, that was that. The corporate side of it is not nice. It's everything else. Like, the actual crew was wonderful. They were wonderful, and 5 days of filming, by the way, for 22 minutes is insane. And especially like the B-roll, they had so much trouble getting B-roll because we lived off like a major road, and so there's constant noise going back to it. Yeah, and I should be able to share it. Honestly, I didn't know. I was young then when we filming it, so me signing off on stuff, like, I mean, it's not like I had a lawyer, it's not like I could afford, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a lot of the knowledge that I have now going into it. It wasn't my first time being on TV. It was my first time being on a reality thing. I'd been on the news a couple times, but it's always been like, actually kind of a lot, but like not for like bad things. It's all been like, I volunteered at a humane society, and I would be the person who would bring the pets on at like 6 a.m. By the way, who the hell watches the news at 6 a.m.? But here I was walking the dogs and letting them go to the bathroom, and then bringing them on to be like, hey, adopt this dog, they have this traits. I was one of those people for like a while. So it was like entirely volunteer. I just wanted to get dogs adopted to go to good families. So I did that. And then my dad was on the news before for like a thing, because I was young. I was like 13, and he was getting forced to go to like Iraq because he was in the military. He's retired from the military now, thankfully. So people were wondering how your dad didn't know. I'm like, well, my parents were divorced, first of all, and second of all, my dad was in the Navy, so he wasn't around like ever. He was constantly deployed, and then even when he wasn't, it's like he lived in an like entirely different state for a while as well. Yeah, for those the I love volunteering for the humane societies and other animal shelters. I don't do it now because I just don't have the health to, but when I did, I was volunteering for those, and I was working 2 part-time jobs and going to college full-time, and I don't even know how I did it. I just didn't sleep because I'd be at the gym at like 5 a.m. and I was like, I realized like I was in like remission from my stuff too, which helped, but like I just didn't sleep. People were like, what are you doing? You were in here in the morning. I was one of those people. I was in there at 5 a.m. and then again at like 1 p.m. at the gym because I was crazy. Mostly for cardio too. Like, I did a little bit late weights, but I didn't realize how important of weightlifting was until much later on. I worry about becoming a hoarder. Oh no, you can't. We can't. I ramble. I yap so much. Because also I'm nervous. But yeah. And yeah, if you guys, I always forget, if you want to like, comment, subscribe, or yeah, any of that, there's no pressure. I don't want to force people to feel like they need to do things that they don't want to do. If you like things, I guess do it. I don't know. I'm just a person. Have I ever worried about becoming a hoarder? Oh God, yes. It's taken so much therapy, and the first few rounds with different therapists didn't work. Like, sometimes you just don't vibe with the therapist or a psychologist, so it takes, time. But when you finally find one, like, it's nice, and you find like a support group, it's almost like for a while, like every day, it's like if I find something, I'm like, oh God, if I let this build up at all, I'm gonna become like her. Like, and it's a thing that takes a long time because my OCD with it is still bad. It used to be extremely bad. She'll get there eventually. I'll get to the fucking monkey eventually. Don't worry, you're doing good, Rivert. I will breathe. I have water too. My mom, I know some people asked if my mom was going to show up for the stream. I did ask her. She did say no. She's not interested at all. She didn't watch the video I made. She hasn't watched the Hoarders episode. I mean, she can't, but I don't know if she would anyway. I just wanted her to have a copy for her sake if she ever wanted to. But yeah, she no context for the monkey thing. It's I don't remember the song. This happens a lot. I just won't add context to things because they just pop up in my head. Referencing a 10-plus-year-old. Is it that old? I don't remember what the song's called. I just remember get to the fucking monkey because it's based on King Kong, because King Kong was like a 3.5-hour movie and like it took forever to see him. But yeah, my mom doesn't really want any part of, she's okay with me talking about it, but she doesn't want any part of like potentially getting berated by people or answering questions because she hasn't entirely dealt with. Hi Bina. She hasn't entirely dealt. If I'm saying things, I do have Twitch chat and YouTube chat up. So yeah, I have a suggestion for future streams. What is your suggestion for future streams, dear moderator? I feel like that's a fucking movie, Dear Moderator, and it's about which King Kong? I have no idea. The one with Jack Black in it. Yep, that one. Jingle key sound alert to get back on track. Oh yeah, I need to do that. I need to get a Jingle Kings keys. If you guys have any suggestions for non-copyright music to play in the stream as well, like I would gladly take that. If I can play it from YouTube specifically, would be even better because I don't have a Spotify account right now. Peter Jackson's King Kong. Is that the one with Jack? That's the one with Jack Black in it, right? But yeah, so my mom didn't want to take part in this stream. Yes, I worry about being a hoarder. I imagine a lot of people who grew up in a hoarding environment worry about the same things. You worry about, it's like, so my pet peeves are, I answered a question in the comments like the other day. My pet peeves are the kitchen and the bathroom. If you've seen the episode, I'm sure you can understand why. Also because like, as bad as like, you can watch the whole episode on Amazon. I do in the description of that video include the season and the episode number so you guys can watch it, because on YouTube or on Hulu it was mislabeled, so that was great. And oh fuck.
Praying your mom is healing too.
I forgot I had it as the cleric beast. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my god. My heart rate was like boom. Because I forgot I have it still as the cleric beast. Non-copyright playlists, and there's also other sites offer copyright-free music. And I know that there's sites that say that they offer copyright-free music, and I was using those as my starting soon screen, and I got copyright on it as of yesterday on my stream, or for YouTube. Twitch is okay with it, but YouTube wasn't, so that's weird. You hate the fact that your desk is always getting cluttered. Yeah, sometimes it's like hard. Like I cleaned my desk recently and I still have a couple things just because I'm like working on a video, so I have to have these couple little things up here, and then I have like a roll of like purple lights that I just don't know what to do with because I want to put them somewhere, and I'm like, where? But I get it. It's like when you have like one dish in the sink, like for me especially. Let me see if I can look up copyright free background music. Is it actually copyright free? Because like I've played I've played Sounds of Fireplace, and that's copyright, by the way. Apparently they're like, yeah, you can't just use this. Okay, lo-fi spring vibes, copyright free, Twitch safe for streamers and create for YouTube videos and content creator. Okay, well let's just play this one. It's 12. Why is it so loud? I'm so sorry if that blew out your eardrums. I just turned it down. It should be better. I hope that's better. Is that not too loud? I hope it's not too loud. I can turn it down a wee bit more if it gets... Here, I'll turn it down a wee bit more. How about that? How about that? With getting copyright-free music. Yeah, that's... there's a couple... There's an AI detection now that even for a lot of copyright-free music, it's detecting that, and then you have to contact the person, and it's just a big pain in the ass to deal with that, so I don't want to. Eventually, maybe I'll get my own music made, or try to make my own. I don't know how to make my own music. Maybe it's a thing we figured out. I didn't know how to edit either until recently, but here we are. But yeah, so... I don't know. I kind of want to ask people in chat, but I also don't want to be invasive by asking you guys personal questions. You can ask me questions and I'll answer them if you know, if I want to. I might answer them. I probably will. are any of you like children of hoarders or have dealt with hoarding before? Have you struggled with it yourself? Because I do know there was a fair few people, because I think I've read all the comments. I've read at least most of the comments on my YouTube video, which was overwhelming. I was stunned that I was happy when it got 50 views. I was happy when it got 50 views. I was shocked when it hit the next day, and I was like, what happened? I was like, what happened? I was so happy when I had my first comment on the video. And yeah, and my brother also like watched it, and he was watching the comments too, because he wanted to make sure people weren't going to say like mean things. But I said, don't worry, it's fine. Like, people are going to say whatever they want because, you know, they can. So it happens. You're a child of a hoarder. You grew up with the opposite, so extreme clean, which that can do some, you know, damage too. But I just like, it's interesting because like I grew up in a severe hoarding environment. The episode honestly was one of the least worst places I lived in with my mom. When we lived in Florida, it was a great deal worse, especially when we lived in a house, because she had way more room. We had boxes that went up to the ceiling in areas and unusable rooms. I had to break into my own house once because we got out of school and my mom was working and we didn't have the keys because we forgot them because we were kids. And so my brother picked me up to throw me through the kitchen window. Yep, that's right. My brother threw me through the kitchen window because it was above the sink, and there was just cans, like rusty cans and nasty cans all over. Like, oh, the whole countertop was full. So I remember having to like kick those out of the way so I wouldn't get cut. It was a heck of a moment, by the way. At least I'm small, I guess. On everything, if you don't mind sharing. So my brother has a much more relaxed approach when he's not really on social media, which helps. Like, he's on Facebook sharing like always fart content, because that's the kind of person my brother is. But my brother's much more relaxed about a lot of this stuff. Like, he told everyone. I told like no one except for like a close friend, like a close couple friends. And my brother told like everyone, because he has a job where like he talks to a lot of people. Everyone in town knows him, so he told everyone, and word spread. And I started getting phone calls from reporters who were like, we want to interview about how you're going on the show. And I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want reporters showing up while they're filming. Like, please God, no. So the producer stepped in and actually took care of that to get the reporters to stop calling. So I said, hey, my phone's blowing up like every hour, and I'm like freaking out because I didn't tell. I told one friend and then my boyfriend, and that was it. That's all who I told at the time that this was happening. Even like my college professors didn't know. I just let them know I was taking off some time. I was like, I need this week off, and I said for some, you know, very personal reasons, and they let it go at that. And my brother's like yapping around town. He's like, yeah, so everyone knows now. And I'm like, I don't want that. But he took it way better than I did. He was still very happy. We did come together and buy my mom a new fridge as well. Like, not a brand new fridge. It was used from Facebook Marketplace, but it was something, because that fridge was still not the worst fridge somehow. It was not as bad as some of the other ones, because we had a stack of flies in one of the other ones that went up this high. Like, you know what fruit flies are? It was a stack that went up in the one of the corners like this high. And yeah, I don't know how some of the insides of the fridge melted. That is still a shock. I don't know if they went into that in the episode. I know we talked about it a lot, but I don't think they were filming for that, because Corey was like, how the fuck? Because like, I don't think they can curse. But like, he's like, how did it melt? Why does it look like someone dumped acid in the fridge? Oh, but yeah, your mom cleaned but never taught you how? Oh, she just... I'm sorry. Yeah. One thing I have found that helps besides therapy, and I can't just say that for everyone, but like gummies help me relax like a lot from my like cleaning sprees. Because like when I finally got my own place, when my mom would come over, after she would leave, I would be like literally cleaning for hours, to the point where I'd be scrubbing the walls all the time. By the way, this was not just so like, oh, you scrub the walls like once a year. No, like every day. Like anytime she'd come over or call, I would just start scrubbing the walls if there was nothing else left to clean, like if it was all sparkling. I learned, so I kind of had like a lot of people asking like how was the adjustment period after finally leaving. I left I literally didn't, it was like literally a day thing. Like one day she was yelling at me because I was trying to clean, and I just snapped. And when she went to work, I packed up what little, I didn't grab a lot of my stuff. I just grabbed my clothes and a couple things that I liked, and I fucking left because I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. And my dad was married at the time, remarried at the time, and I went and lived with him for kind of a brief period of time. I just wanted to live there enough to save up money because I was working and going to school, to save up to get a roommate, to just have my own place, because living with my dad, who I'm sure you guys can imagine, a military father, not super conducive when he didn't understand some of the stuff that I had gone through with living in a hoarding environment. Like cleaning's one thing I don't mind. I learned I grew up really early on in life because of how my mother, like, I kind of just learned through trial and error how to clean, and I've gotten really, really good at it. I don't use bleach. I never really learned how to use bleach, but disinfectant wipes, vinegar, white vinegar, solutions, baking soda, stuff like that. I learned how to do laundry early on, like probably, and cook, like a lot of these things, like too early on. Cooking took a little bit of time just because we didn't live, like it was very basic foods. It wasn't until I got my own place that I went and like ham on cooking. I like cooking. If I get stressed, I stress bake, and then I won't eat most of it because I bake too much. So that I'm like, hey people, who wants to come over and eat all this food that I made when I'm feeling good enough? As far as my brother, he learned to do a lot of things on his self too. He does, you know, have his own issues, but he also, like, he deals with it in his own way, I guess, is the best way I can say it. I don't want to get like into personal with his stuff, but he works a lot, and I think that that's how he deals with it. He has animals too. He's married, and his wife helps him cope with the best he can. But my brother handled this stuff a lot earlier. I also think part of it is he got out earlier than I did. He went and moved in with my dad a lot earlier, and he didn't have to go through like all of middle school and high school living in a hoard. And I like that he got out. I just didn't like being left alone with my mother, and it's just like I wanted to take care of her because I was worried she would do something really horrible to herself, because she had said a lot of times to me, her daughter at a young age, and it's just like that she just wished she could, you know, not wake up, because I don't know what, you know, she just wished she would like not wake up, and I'm just like, I don't like these words that she's saying. Not to say horrible things is unrealistic. Yeah, and it is. It's unrealistic. I'm trying to read. I've been yapping again. Did the producers do anything to help after the filming was done? So, not. I mean, they called a couple months later to get an update. They did offer my mom therapy with a psychologist, but she did go. I don't know how frequent the sessions were, and she doesn't really talk about it much, but I do know she went for a few months, but that was all. Like, I think they offered her up to a year, and then she stopped going after a few months. I don't know if she wasn't vibing with the person or what was going on. I think she's just, you have to be open to therapy and getting help, and if you're not, it's not gonna work. And then for a while she blamed me for relapsing and also like failing at therapy. She blamed me for some of that because my health, when she stopped going, had taken a turn, and I was in the hospital for a bit of time. And yeah, so that sucked to get blamed for that stuff, because I remember her starting to hoard my hospital room, and the nurses, because I'm sick, so like throwing away things isn't easy, but the nurses would come in because she would just bring in like fast food and all of her plastic cups into the room. And again, my mom hoards trash, so she literally carries, not so much anymore, at least. I think her boyfriend might help her because he doesn't allow her to bring in a ton of trash, but she would just carry trash with her where she went. Like, it would just be in her bag. Like, I know, you know, people carry around huge purses full of God knows what, which is probably why I carry around a belt bag with my phone and my ID and like a few other things in it, basically ways to pay if I'm buying anything, and that's it, and chapstick, and that's all I carry around with me. Like, I'm very minimal when it goes out. When I go out, I don't like carrying a lot with me unless I'm going for a hike, which I haven't done in a while. And then I'm usually just water. It's water and salty snacks. But like, I don't like having things. For a while, it was hard to have anything. Like, you see all my Halloween stuff up because Halloween's been kind of a therapeutic tool for me. is my dog, and you can't see her. My dog's behind me against the couch, well, kind of near the couch. She's sleeping on the floor. She could get on the couch, but she's choosing not to. She'd rather sleep on the floor, I suppose. She likes to be on the couch when I'm on the couch. If I'm not on the couch, she's like, nah, I'm good. I'll just sleep on the floor. But yeah, they didn't do much else except for like offer therapy. The crew themselves bought her that mattress out of their, I don't know if it was a write-off for them or not, but it was not a thing they normally do. I did learn that they do pay some of the families, like for the ones that like are kind of hesitant, they'll actually offer them money, or if they demand money, I suppose they said they gave, there were some stories we heard. Holy shit, were there some stories we heard from the crew. But some people are paid, some people aren't. We aren't paid. It's not like I asked for it and I wasn't expecting it. I just wanted my mom to not live in a condemned house, or to have the health department kick her out and condemn the place. So there was that. It was also awkward because like I went to high school with someone who lived above us. So yeah, I didn't enjoy that because I was just constantly trying not to leave like the house or anywhere that I would be seen by them, because I'm like, I don't want them knowing like how I live. But yeah, you just end up letting your room pile up. Yeah, I'm one of those people, I can't stand boxes. I can't stand a lot of things. Like I can do a couple dishes in the sink. I've learned that is okay. It's taken a long time for that, but that's okay. It's just like I like the counters being clean and spotless, which is only so much you can do when you have 2 cats and a dog. Like cats get on the counters and it's just something you have to accept, that they're going to be up there and getting fur everywhere. I've accepted that fur is a comfortable thing that I'm going to have to live with, because animals shed all the time, and it doesn't matter how much you vacuum, there will always be hair. If you guys have a dog or have cats that shed a lot, you know what I mean. Because it does just get everywhere. But also I don't know, animals have helped me cope too, especially my dog, because she is a trained service dog. She's semi-retired now because she is a bit older, but she is honestly the program that I went through worked with primarily a lot of people who are veterans or people who have experienced trauma, and that they paired me up with her when she was about 3 months old, or a little over. She might have been 4 months. They paired me up with her and it worked out. It takes a long time to go through that kind of training, by the way. She was bred specifically, I think only her and her brother made it. There was like 14 puppies in the program, and I think only her and her brother made it. So that was wild. I remember people were like, that's the best trained dog I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, she should be. She's a service dog. And there's people like to make distinctions. Like there's a difference between therapy dog and service dog, but there's no difference between like a PTSD dog and a service dog. They're both service dogs. It's just, and she does for both physical health and mental health. So she's good at her job, but because of COVID, she is a little bit not trained as well as she used to, which is why she's kind of semi-retired and just does her thing at home. Because now instead of bringing me things like she's supposed to, she throws them at me. So she'll like whip it. She'll get some momentum too. And I'm like, you're supposed to gently give this to me, not throw my shoes at me. And then she greets people now, which is not what she's supposed to do as a service dog, but I'm trying to get her retrained. So we will see if she's able to go back out in public and be like a service dog again, but we'll have to see. PD was glad when she moved. It's not funny, but you gotta, yeah. I assume PD is police department. But yeah, a lot of times I've learned that wellness checks if they don't open the door, it doesn't do anything. Like they're not gonna do a whole lot else. If you just stay quiet, they're just gonna walk past. What were some of the notes? Maybe I should look at the notes, because I had CPS called on me so many times. Man, they're assholes, by the way. Like they showed up in my fucking high school and like put me in a room. It was my freshman year of high school, and they put me in a room and were like drilling me, like grilling me. I think grilling is the right one. Anyway, they were being really like you're talking to a kid. First of all, I don't care that I'm, a young teenager at the time, but the things you're asking, like any child's gonna be like, not happy. I was like, this is the one time they only confronted me once in school. I know for a fact a doctor called once because I had health issues, and I know might have been the first time, but a doctor was the one who called before, because I also remember the doctor asking me some interesting questions too. But like they don't get CPS is like, so people are always like, call CPS. As one, they didn't do anything, and two, they were really mean, and then three, if the child gets put in a home, I've had a friend who was a foster child, like she was taken away from her mother at a young age, and she went through worse hell because of it, guys. She went from a bad situation to an extremely physically abusive one for years. That's not okay until a different family, until she got out of that situation, and actually got into a family that loved and cherished her. But she went through a lot of trauma for many years because of it. All of her siblings were split up because she had like 6 siblings and they were all split up. And so she never got to really talk to them for years. And that's really sad, to not talk to your own brothers and sisters. But also it's like when they put you, it's like, oh yeah, we have these people, they passed the background check. Did they? Did they? Because look at what they're doing. Look what they did to my friend. And that's why I was like, I have a problem with CPS, because they're gonna take you out of one bad situation and put you in potentially this similar one or an even worse one. If you're lucky, you'll get put in a better situation. But she's been on a 70-hour hold before. It tends to make her chill out. Is that like a mental health hold thing? What is that? Because like I've only heard of that with my grandma, but my grandma has dementia, so that's why they could do it with her. Even for their parents to fight to give the kids back to my brother and sister-in-law. Oh. You were family? Yeah. Because one family members took him over. It's just like, a lot of my family didn't know, and even when they found out that we were going to be on Hoarders, they wanted, I didn't tell them, my brother did, and they were like, oh, they called me and they're like, I don't want any part of this. It's like, I wasn't going to ask you to be part of it. You never helped me. Why would I ask for your help now? And because they made this, a lot of my family members made this like huge deal of potentially being on the show, right? They were never going to be on the show. I was never going to even mention them. But again, my brother was like, thought it was cool that we were going to be on TV because again, he was young too. Yeah, he's my older brother. We're only like a year, like just under 2 years. Okay, he's only about 2 years older than me, so like there's not like this huge age gap. So again, he was young too, and it's like, see, it's not like he knows better with these things. He's just like, oh cool, we get to be on TV again. And it's like, well, one of the first times you're on TV, and I think this first time he was on TV was when they were like, the news fucked up, and like they were talking, we were supposed to be a news segment of my dad going to Afghanistan. They're like, okay, we want this confounding answers from this 13-year-old girl who's like proud of her father and whatnot. And instead they're talking about this terrorist thing at, I don't know, event happened years ago, and they show my dad's fucking picture, and we're recording it, right? We recorded it because we're like, yeah, we're gonna all be on TV. We start laughing, we're crying so hard because we're laughing so much, because I'm like, they better correct this because my dad's not a terrorist, he's getting an award. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, that got resolved. A big oopsie on them, right? Big oopsie. But we recorded that. It was one of the funniest shit that's ever happened. I'm like, I was like, oh, that was a day. And I like how much similar to Hoarders, like I was older when they did the filming, which by the time I submitted my thing, it was only, I want to say, a few months from my first thing when I wrote them an email to actually like them coming out and filming. And then they were like, oh yeah, like your mom's gonna be one of the first episodes of the season, or the first episode of the season. Like, oh, okay. I don't know what to make of that. And I remember family members apparently that summer scrolling through, and one of them's like, hey, that's, oh, because I had never told them, so they just saw me on TV and saw my mom on TV. And it's just like, for some of my other family members, it's like, yep. And so naturally they're like, oh, you did this? So I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing like 6 months ago. Like, yeah, mental health hold, okay. Yeah, shows up when they want something. Yeah, it was on a VHS. That's how old, I think it was VHS. It had to have been, right? Or maybe it was a DVD. I don't know. My grandma was recording it at the time, and I don't really talk to them anymore. So, because it's hard to tell people who don't believe in like mental health issues that you have problems. So they don't believe in therapy because their version of therapy is like, I got your therapy right here. And what they mean is they're used to using physical force instead of like, you know, actually getting help, which is kind of fucked. But yeah, it's just like, they're just those kind of people. It's like, no wonder my own dad has problems, man. It's just like, yeah, he was raised by you. And like the one time they're like, used to be so different. I'm like, yeah. They're like, what happened? I'm like, I grew up. I grew up and had formed my own opinions and went to college and got educated. And also had the internet. Guys, I didn't have access to the internet until I went to college. I didn't have, I mean, because I never really went out a lot, I didn't really talk to a lot of people until I went to college. And I talked to a lot of people. And I actually got a title. I was known as Yoga Girl in college. That was something else at my university. Because I didn't think I was all that flexible. I just thought everyone could do the shit I could do. No, turns out I have connective tissue problems, but I was known as, because I would always like, I was in some physical classes because they had a Filipino stick fighting offered at my university and karate, and they were back to back 10 minutes apart in the same area. So I would just stay there for 10 minutes warming up, like after the first class, and just warming up and doing stretches ready for the second one. So that was honestly a lot of fun. That's probably too much information, but like I had very limited access to the internet until I went to like college, and except for like maybe going to like a friend's house, you know, rarely, and then I'd have access to the computer. But for the most part, I didn't know what like a lot of things were, which is why when people introduce me memes and stuff, I'm like, I don't know what this is, because I was like for a long time a huge adjustment period, like extremely sheltered, and I think it came off that way with the way that I talk. And it's just like I got into college, it's like, oh, people don't act like this, people like have this like childhood, and I'm just like listening to stories, I was like, oh, this isn't normal. Like it's weird to hear people have like not necessarily normal, because I can't say everyone that I met had a normal, I don't know what a normal life really is, but like, or having like families like, oh yeah, they did this and this. I'm like, wait, your parents cooked for you? Like my grandpa, one of the reasons why my username is the way it is, my late grandpa came down one of the times because he did know that my mom hoarded, but he like wasn't well enough to help, but not well enough to take care of my brother and I. So like he would at times, to get us out of the situation, he actually came down to Florida for like a 6-month period to clean and make sure we were getting the nutrition. He would cook for us, even though I was an extremely picky eater. So he did a lot. This is a little loud, I'm sorry. He did a lot for us. And yeah, he used to call me, one of my nicknames that he used to call me was Belby. Shelby Belby, which is why I was like kind of turned it into Skellbells, because like it's like, yeah, it's like this is a nickname that he called me. He never really called me my own name, which is really funny, but I was like, I'm fine with that. Like it's better than what my mom called me, which is really fucking embarrassing. But like, especially in front of like public, like, are you kidding me? Don't just call me by my name, woman. But yeah, but I think that, is there anything I missed? Why did I not see that? Hi Magnemesis, why did I not see for how intrusive they were over the most minute of things? Yeah, it's just like CPS will take one thing, but then they'll take like more other things. It's like yeah, one of the things is like, I have brittle bones. I was diagnosed at like 10 years old because I stepped on a rock and my foot broke, like completely, like a piece of my bone broke off. The rest of it was like floating away, and I walked on it for 3 days because, you know, I supposedly broken foot should hurt a lot. It did hurt. It just didn't hurt a huge amount. And so I was walking on it because my dad's always like, pain's just weakness leaving the body, because he didn't actually think I broke it. He just thought maybe I bruised my foot a little bit, right? He had no way of knowing. Because like I didn't break it there. I broke it when I was hanging out with my friend. We were playing hide and seek, and I was walking around in sandals, stepped on a rock, and it broke off. And that's how they found out I have like really low bone density. And I don't know why. It's just I have brittle bones, so I fracture very easily, like super easily. You were so right on this. Which part am I right of you tell stories? Oh. Yeah, of things just be like, you find out when you finally hang around like a lot of people, and it's like, oh, it almost feels like you were brainwashed to believe a certain way. And then, like, you know, for a while I was very hesitant. Like, I wouldn't let anyone, like, I hated when anyone would try to walk me home when I lived with her, because I'm like, I don't want them to. I don't want to have to, like, I don't want them seeing, or God forbid smelling the place, because like at a point I just stopped. My sense of smell just like stopped. Like, I can smell only a few things, and it's very faint. Like, even really bad stuff, like the litter boxes I can clean. I don't smell anything. I don't smell anything. I don't know if I have something wrong with it, or if there's damage, or if it's just like a mental thing. So like, I don't process. So when I do smell something, I don't know what it is anymore, because I've spent so long in my life not recognizing smells. So I smell something, I'm like, I smell something, but I can't place it. Like, what the fuck is that smell? And you almost fist fought your dad. Oh no. Oh no. I learned, like, very recently, as of this year, I went through a lot of psychological testing and learned that I have autism and ADHD, which makes a lot of sense considering I was in special classes. And it's just, my family was like, well, you look normal, because my mom doesn't know the difference between Down syndrome and autism. She thought they were the same thing, and she didn't realize like high functioning autism is a thing. And that was recently, by the way, because she was like, a lot of things that I do, she's like, oh, it's just a phase. It's just a phase. She said that to me as a grown fucking woman, guys. As a grown woman, it's like, it's just a phase. It's like, no, I don't think it's a phase. But like, yeah, it's I went through all that testing and realized, like, yeah, I have ADHD and autism. The ADHD was kind of shocking. The autism, not so much, because I had extremely bad speech problems. My school, which is wild that Florida required this, but the elementary school that I went to in Florida had me in special classes because I refused to talk. Because when I would talk, I could not talk normally, especially at home. I had a lot of issues talking and controlling my tongue. So there was a lot of words that I would say that would come out just sounding weird and muffled. So they put me in speech therapy like every day for a while. I hated it, by the way, hated it, but I did it because I just wanted to be done with it. And that's why I can talk kind of normal now, because I couldn't before for a very long time. And my school was like, no, she needs to talk better. She needs to talk. Because I almost didn't like to like talk either way, because it's like, yeah, I'm the weird one. I'm the one people picked on. But it's just like, yeah, I'm also the one people cheated on though too. Like, they're like, oh, she gets A's, so like let's just figure out a way that we can just copy her answers. But because I was good in school for the most part. There were things that I wasn't good at. Anything that was like artistic, I really struggled. But if it was like math or science based, it was like, oh yeah, I'm good. It took me a while. Like, I feel like my reading, I can read really well now. I took a long time to learn how to read though. My grandpa helped me a ton with that though, because he also bribed me. He's like, for every A that you get, every report card, you get $25 to, you know, I'm gonna make a bank account, put $25 in it, and you can spend it or save it as you see fit. And it's just like, when your grandpa offers you money and you have 4 report cards a year plus, like, you know, Christmas, it's like, oh, okay, that's money. So I worked my ass off to get A's then. I was like, I want that money for Chuck E. Cheese. Because I was little, didn't know Discovery Zone, which was kind of like an abominable nightmare, I'm sure, for parents nowadays. If you guys know what Discovery Zone is, lots of tubes. You think Chuck E. Cheese had tubes? This place had more tubes and a lot more areas where you could hurt yourself. I got pinged on Discord. Oh, okay. Hold on. They were figuring out a thing that I couldn't figure out earlier. But yeah. Would also mask more. Girls do mask. That's what the psychologist told me. But he was like, because of the way the testing was done, he was like, I mean, we finished all of it, but he told me before the results, he was like, yeah, you're definitely autistic, and the fact that your parents didn't know is shocking. And he was like, they don't call it Asperger's anymore. They call it high functioning autism, because my half brother, who's my little, because I have a half brother and he's my little brother. He was diagnosed with Asperger's when he was little, now high functioning autism, and also ADHD. and my dad's always like, get eye contact. I can make eye contact kind of with the camera, but with like, I struggle in real life making eye contact with people, and I always have. It frustrates people, I think. And also I have a tendency to correct people when they say things. I'm kind of an asshole, I think, sometimes. I've worked on it. It's like, because I don't want to make people, it's like I have this tendency, like, correction, facts. Could handle. Oh yeah, no, they couldn't. I've had x-rays that are like, oh yeah, you have old fractures here. It's like, don't know how I have those, because when you live with chronic pain, you just think it's normal when it's like, oh yeah, something just hurts a little bit or a little bit more than normal for a couple weeks, and you find out, yeah, it's because you fractured another bone. My spine is actually fine. They tested my spine, my density there, so it's my legs and my arms, from what I've been told. My feet in particular are super bad. They're like, when they x-rayed me a long time ago, and then they did scans and stuff, they're like, you have like the bones of like a 75-year-old woman. Like, it is bad. And it's like, I was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, and I still ride coasters, not often. I've broken bones on coasters before too, but like, I don't hold the park accountable. That's my fault. I choose to ride those rides, right? Because like, it's one thing going in if something explicitly is wrong with the coaster. It's another thing to be like, yeah, that's on me. Like, they did nothing wrong. The coaster's running smooth. I just got hurt because it's me. Mostly it's been foot fractures. Like, my feet are bad. Those are very common. My foot, ankle, toes, like all that just is so common to the point, like, I suspect I have a stress fracture right now. It's been hurting for like days. And I'm like, I don't want to even go in to get an x-ray just for them to be like, yeah, just wear your boot. I have braces at home. I have crutches because this is a common enough occurrence for me. And like, I've been on supplements, and it's like, my body's just like, the reason why my like calcium is normal in my blood, by the way, is because my fucking body just leaches it from my bones. Because they were always like, how is your density this low but your blood work is fine? Like, your calcium levels are perfectly like fine, borderline high, and like, but your bones are super weak. And it's just like, yeah, because we've learned after many long times, like, yeah, your body just leaches the calcium from your bones. That's why. So I do a lot. I do that when I'm nervous, by the way. I realize when I go in, if I'm editing videos, if I'm nervous about one, I edit those out. I edit the ums out. Because it's easy, because editing is great, because I can just, like, if I say something weird, I'm like, which I say a lot of weird things, and I keep some of them in to get the point across of what I'm trying to say, but I edit a lot of weird stuff out, or a lot of just hiccups out, like or or the. If I keep repeating myself, I don't know. I'm sorry. I get really nervous about a lot of things. Damn it, I did it again. I need to have a thing where every time I say that, I have to do push-ups or something, because maybe if I do that enough, my brain will be like, no, we don't say that anymore, because then we do push-ups. Because you grew up in Ohio in Magic Castle. That place is a blast. I don't know if I know what Magic Castle is. I assume it's like a Chuck E. Cheese or a Discovery Zone. But yeah, you have bad ADHD. Yeah, ADHD can be kind of a nightmare. I have learned that after getting on meds for ADHD, like, my god, the brain doesn't move so fast. Like, I feel like I constantly had stuff going through. And you know how sometimes you just talk and like, it doesn't, like, your brain catches up afterwards, and they're like, why do you say that stuff? It's like, I don't know. I don't even think about it. It comes out of my mouth before I fully process like stuff. And it's like, not necessarily bad. It's just weird. It's just weird things that I say. I had people in high school, like later on in high school though, who made friends with me because of it, because they thought it was funny, so they hung out with me. It's like, yeah, I'm glad I can be accepted. And yeah, I actually met my husband in high school. Like, obviously we didn't marry in that time, but we became friends, and then, you know, started dating. And he really helped me out of a lot of the situations that I was going through at the time, because oh man, living also it explains why I'm such a neat freak, if that's the proper term, where you're just like, okay, when I had a roommate before, and we were living with a roommate, and they were kind of messy, and it drove me nuts. Oh my god, or having people, like I would have paper plates because I wouldn't want so many dishes to be in the sink because I'd have to hand wash them because we didn't have a dishwasher at our little apartment, our first apartment, because it was a super cheap apartment. I don't think you could find something for like $300 nowadays. Like I just don't. COVID just destroyed like stuff. Like now rent is horribly high for anywhere. I'm pretty sure those apartments are more than double now, which is insane because they used to be like super cheap and affordable. But yeah, you're horrible at eye contact. I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, I do know some people who are like great at eye contact, and it's like, or I don't know how to start a conversation, but I don't know how to dominate one, and that's a problem because if it's something that I'm really passionate about, like haunted houses or theme parks, anything of that sort, it's like, yeah, oh yeah, I will dominate that conversation because I will just, it's my hyperfixation, guys. Halloween, haunted houses, anything in between the two, it's like, it's like, yes, it's what I like to do all year round. I can't wait like for Christmas because there's going to be haunted houses open for Christmas because yes, I love it. Even though they're kind of like taxing on my health, I've made friends somehow, especially this year. Like that was interesting. Like I have such a tiny, like my Skeleton Bell channel is so tiny, but then people were like so happy. Like they were hugging me. They're like, we love, like you're so enthusiastic about haunted houses. Even though some of my enthusiasm was like ripping apart some of those haunted houses for like 40 minutes with from their flaws. But you know, I was like, yeah, because I enjoy all haunts, even if they're terrible, because I enjoy them if they're good. I enjoy them if I get to rip them apart because they're terrible. It's a hyperfixation of mine, and it's also why it's like I have this photographic memory for going through haunted houses. Like I can picture myself going through them, and it's like, I don't know, that's one of the first things I ever did when I started YouTube. I didn't really make videos frequently for many years. I think I've been doing YouTube for 9 years. That's wild. It's just like people are like, well, why haven't you given up? I see people in Reddit are like, if you've been doing it for 9 years, you're not getting like a lot of views or subscribers, you're doing something wrong. It's like, I'm just doing me. I'm just wanting to do, and I wanted to, now that I got on ADHD meds and I was able to actually focus and learn how to edit videos, and that was really cool. I love editing. When people are like, oh, I could be your editor. I was like, one, I have no money to pay you with, so I'm not gonna accept that. And also it's like, one, and two, and probably the main thing is I really enjoy editing. Yeah, I get a little overwhelmed because I'll bite off more than I can chew, and I'm behind like 5 videos, guys. I have, but I was like, I really enjoy editing videos. The filming part can be a bit awkward depending where it is, because I'm not so great with the camera. You know, that's... I see people like Chris James, he's honestly the big one, Andy King, Papa Meat, like their editing, I don't know, some of the things Papa Meat does, I'm like, I don't know how they're doing those edits. Like some of it has to be filters, but other it's just like a lot of editing that looks really good. So I was like, I want to do stuff like that. I really like that. And I was kind of inspired to do that, but with my own thing, because I don't know how other people make videos or edit them. I probably do it in a way that's not super efficient, but like I was just like, one night I just got on Discord with friends and I had popped a gummy. We were watching Ghost Adventures and they were sitting there crying because of the things that I was saying. Like, I was like, I should have to be careful. I've literally made one of my friends laugh so hard he had an asthma attack. I don't want to do that again. That was from playing a game though, Golf with Friends. It was actually one of my first streams I did, and I get really into Golf with Friends. I don't know why that game, like that game in particular, does something to me that's, it'll blow my voice out because I get really loud. I'm really glad I have this stir mic now. I don't have a headset because that was horrible. And before my Hoarders video, like my most watched video was a really cringy video I made. It wasn't even very much edited. It was literally just... So some people made clips of me playing Resident Evil 4, and it was not my first, it was my second Resident Evil game, but it was the first one I played with Leon Kennedy in it. And I didn't anticipate the words that came out of my mouth, or more importantly, the facial expressions that I made seeing some of the cutscenes, and it... I was like, so Resident Evil knows how to make characters very, very appealing, very attractive, much wow, very, very drooling. And then when I played the next game on Twitch, I should not have had TTS on because some people were saying some stuff, and it's like, don't say that, I'm not gonna do that. This is why I made another account on another platform, so I couldn't play games like that and say horrible lewd things and mod it too, because man, Twitch doesn't even let you play modded Honey Pop. Like, what the hell, man? I just want to connect the colors and the candies. Come on, and also, like, look at hot women, okay? I have wandered very far, my dear modder. For shame. So yeah, that I posted, that was on YouTube for like a while and had like only a couple views, right? And then all of a sudden it had like 40 or 50,000 views. It's like, what happened? And that was like, okay, that was my biggest video for a really long time. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad I could make people laugh. Some people weren't so nice in the comments, but to be fair, they can say what they want. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be me, and you know what? I'm allowed to thirst over a big hunky man or a very, let's get real, Ada was hot. I'm allowed to thirst over, they're not even real characters. I'm allowed to thirst if other people could thirst over just like, I don't know, what is a game people thirst over? Like Final Fantasy, probably one of those. People will thirst over that. I'm like, okay, I'm allowed to thirst just because I'm a woman. I'm allowed to thirst and literally drool on stream. That happened. I was very embarrassed. I'm glad. I don't think that got caught. That didn't get clipped, I hope. That was embarrassing, but like, come on. When he gets hit and the sounds he makes, are you fucking kidding me? Literally any game people will thirst over. I mean, yeah, look at the one where you can like literally fuck a table. I got really far off topic. I'm very sorry. Do you guys have questions about the hoarders thing? Because I have a list here. I can share some things. I don't want to get too, I'm not used to, I know the chat for most people is like, I'm not used to it moving this fast, right? I'm not. The only time I've had it move this fast is like my first year anniversary on Twitch. Actually moved faster when I had Insym raid me, and that was insane because that was like, I don't know, 4,000 people or something. That like, I was overwhelmed. I was like, I don't know what to do. I've been streaming for like 12 hours. I don't know what to do. That was when I was playing way too much Phasmo, and I don't even care to read off how many hours I have in Phasmo, but I haven't played it in a while, so when I did, I was like, oh, I suck at it now. It's not moving all that fast, girl. Well, you know, it is for me, but you know, if it moves, it's fine. It's something I can work on. I think it's just my focus. I'm really bad at focusing, and I didn't have enough coffee today, so that's probably why I keep moving my hands, because I don't have a cat in my lap. So now I just got my heated blanket to keep me calm. One of the things that I read, so I have notes that I actually sent to hoarders, like a list afterwards, like I kept, that I sent to them in an email format. And one of the things is like, so when my mom and I lived in the apartment before the one that was on the episode, I don't have pictures. I remember taking pictures, but I don't know where that camera is. I didn't take it with me when I moved out, so I have no idea. But we did get evicted out of the previous place we lived at. It was way worse. That is the place where I did end up. My mom found me unconscious on the floor. It was piled with trash. The kitchen was unusable and unable to move into. The bathroom door you could barely open because it was so cluttered. The bedroom was unusable. We slept in the living room on a twin mattress. We shared it because we didn't have a full. We just had that one. It's just like, I can't, like, there were tiny paths, but other than those tiny paths, there was really no, you were constantly stepping on stuff of various natures. And we did have like issues with bugs and stuff. Just, as my mom likes to point out, we never had bed bugs or roaches somehow. I was like, maybe they can't survive in this kind of environment with all the mold. I was like, maybe they just can't survive. I don't know. One of the things my mom used to do, which I'm glad she doesn't do as much anymore, is she used to obsessively call and text me like all the time, like several times a day. Would be like a reprieve, just a couple, like several times a day. It would be really bad, like 10 times a day for anything, because she would go out and buy stuff and want to put it in my apartment and give it to me. And my grandma has a similar thing. I do believe if hoarding runs in genetics, like my grandma has it. I don't know if my trauma is what made me escape from it and why I can't just have things. I like to keep things neatly organized and clean, but she would just try to bring things over all the time. Random junk items too, like a fake Christmas tree or old damaged Xmas decor, cat toys. She was really big, so we had our cat Izatara. He was fairly new and young at the time, and she would just be like, oh, I'll bring this over. It's like, he has enough cat toys. He doesn't even play with them. Like, he just wants attention. That's all he just wants to sit in a lap. He doesn't care about toys half the time. So I would end up giving away, if she brought stuff over, I would end up giving away, because she was treating my cat like her surrogate grandchild, and I don't know. There was a lot of things, like, there's still some things that I'm working on that have affected me because of her, not just mentally, but also like financially. She's, I think, in her own way, oh my god, that fucking porcelain unicorn bust thing. We set it up because it was Bellathor, because it was so weird. So we had a bookshelf, and on the top of it had an empty space, so we put it up, and I made an altar to it because like it was just so weird to have. And it was just like, I don't know where they got this from. This seems like it'd be a haunted object, right? So I set it up so it would look like an altar in our apartment, because I don't know. I just thought that it was majestic, but it was really weird. It was just one of those. That's something my grandma got, because she just has an obsession with, like, as I imagine hoarders who like to shop constantly, Goodwill was her best friend. They would go to Goodwill all the time and buy things, which I set foot in a Goodwill recently, and oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I don't want to go back. Are they all? I was at one in Florida that was much nicer. This one looked like people were just peeing on stuff. Like, I don't know what happened. There were just bins of like loose stuff. I would have been afraid to put my hand in there. There's gonna be glass or needles in there. I don't know. I don't know what happened to that Goodwill, but the lighting, it was dark in there. It felt like you were walking through a cloud of like piss. Smelled of, yeah. See, I didn't smell anything when we were in there, but you did. You and Lili did, and it's just like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'll do what I came here to do, and we could leave. I didn't realize it was gonna be that bad or that nasty. Maybe I should have after watching the Papa Meat video, but like, his was on the bargain bins of Goodwill, not the stores. I didn't anticipate him being like that, but here we are. Here we are. I don't know how many like hoarders. I assumed a lot of hoarders had financial issues, but I've also seen a lot of them who live in like giant houses or actually seem to be well off. Obviously, my mom wasn't. My mom technically did some things that were not, saying not cool is a huge understatement, but like, yeah, it's just like I remember getting calls after I went into college about owing money, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what money could I possibly owe you? They're like, at this point, they gave me like a year and stuff, and I'm like, I was a child. I was a child. Why is that in my name? I was a child at that time. And they're like, oh, sometimes parents use their children's social security numbers to, you know, use their name to put under, you know, stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, you still have to pay it though. And I'm like, I was like, I'm in college. I work a minimum wage job. No. So yeah, I just let that go to collections. It's been in collections. I don't know. They're just gonna keep reselling that debt, I'm sure. Fuck them. I'm well off, but be in tons and tons of debt. Yeah, that's also true. That is also true. And it's like, we've always lived in, my mom and I were, with the exception of like when I was very, very little, like in diapers, we, like soon after like elementary school, we lived in poverty and lived in some really bad neighborhoods, which, you know, when I had to tell people, like when I came up to high school, they're like, oh yeah, I don't know if this was a thing in other people's high schools, but for some reason in mine, it was like a status symbol to live in what they perceived as the ghetto. And it was really confusing to me because I didn't understand exactly what they meant. And they're talking about like, oh yeah, you have to do this and this. I was like, oh, I lived in a, you know, I lived in a bad neighborhood. They're like, no, you don't understand. And I'm like, okay. And what I didn't tell them is I lived in a neighborhood that actively twice a week had helicopters with spotlights on them because we had criminals living in our neighborhood, and we actively had police going with search dogs a lot. We were questioned a lot. We were robbed a couple times. One of the times we weren't home. The other time they pointed a gun to the window. That was cool. I rolled off the bed. But like, you know, and like it was one of those places like they don't deliver food because they're like, yeah, the delivery drivers kept getting robbed, so you have to come pick up the food now. But yeah, that's what we could afford at the time, and Florida is kind of an expensive place to live. So yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we a lot of other stuff too, but that stuff's even like, I remember, you would think like living in there, and I'm sure there is trauma associated with living there, but also like I had these Pokemon cards, right? Like really old, like first gen. Some of these Pokemon cards, at least then, I thought were worth money. Now I know some of them are worth money, but majority of them are not. Some of them are worth money though. And these people came in, I'm presumably like kids, because they broke in through the bedroom window my brother and I shared. And they stole a bunch of shit, right? But what didn't they steal? They stole all the they don't know how to search because they stole all the common Pokemon cards, but not the rares and not the holographics because those were buried further down. Also, we did have a dog in the house, and she was locked in my mom's room. They didn't get in there, but we saw what my dog did to that. She probably would have done some damage to whoever broke into the house, or, you know, worse, because my dog destroyed that door and the carpet. She wanted to get, because my mom got her for protection, and she protected my brother and I a lot. She did not like strangers. She would not let my brother and I answer the door. Onyx was a good dog. And so we're living in this place, and it's like they didn't take that. They took all of our money that was supposed to go for like vacation. That sucked. But they didn't get the Pokemon cards, and they didn't get to the game stations because the game stations were very close to the dog, where the dog was, and they probably heard the dog and what the dog was doing to the door, which was breaking it, and they're probably like, we got to get out of here. So that's what they did. Yeah. Couple of unsavory neighborhoods of school. Yeah. And it was. And also the high school was constructed by someone who was like a prison architect, so that was cool too. But like, I was like, what I didn't understand was like telling people, it's like, yeah, I lived in like a really, really bad neighborhood. Like, you're not supposed to go outside for the most part, like once the sun goes down. Like, it was crazy. It's like, it wasn't just like exclusive to my neighborhood, because there were adjoining apartment complexes, and all of them were like not great. I remember like we would get into trouble. Well, no, one time, because we're like, I made friends with some of the kids. I wanted to not be in the house and be stuck in the hoarding stuff. So like, we're gonna go out and we're gonna go break through that fence and see what's on the other side. I stepped on a cactus really soon after, and 3 of the spines went through my toes. That was an awesome experience. And it wasn't like soon after, like minutes later after that happened, I'm like trying to waddle back, and we see like guys in a truck, and they have like in the distance, and they very clearly had guns out, and we're like, we gotta go. And all of my friends left me, and I'm just sitting there alone. It's like, what the fuck? And I'm like maybe 11 or 12 at the time, and they just left me, and I'm sitting here like hobbling with a cactus stuck in my foot because I didn't know, because I couldn't remove it. And I finally I'm not actually that far from my own apartment, like very close, but like I got back, and I was so mad at them for leaving me, and I'm like, I was scared, y'all fucking left. We were all young. I don't think they could have picked me up, but like, man, covered in goose poop. What building was covered in goose poop? I know the ones at Cedar Point were. That was a sight to behold while, you know, up in the air. Are you talking about the old high school or the new one? I assume you mean the new one, and it wasn't the building. It was the whole, like, landscape around it, because they took an area where geese were used to wintering and they turned it into a school, and then the geese started attacking all the high school students. That was great. I remember like one time a guy in a van, I was walking to a gas station to get drinks with my friend, and I was 18 at the time, so I had just graduated high school. I was walking to get late night to get drinks because I'm dumb and naive, and I'm glad I was with a friend, but a guy had pulled up after I went under the underpass. He pulled up in a van, was like, hey, you guys want to get in? And I was like, no. I was nice enough about it, but like, no, I'm good, because I also like, I really check your chat. Did I miss something? I just talked more than once a story. Did I miss something? Close to a couple of unsavory. I don't know what I'm missing. I thought I caught up. It looks like I have everything. Check your chat more than once a story. That's what you're saying. Okay. Where was I? Oh no. I think it's gone. I think the train has left the station. But I'm not. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh no. But yeah, I grew up in a less than savory neighborhood, and oh yeah, the thing, we walked by, we said no thank you. Man, those are probably, the people in that van were probably not good people, I imagine. Because I've also learned that apparently some of the areas I've lived in are like known for human trafficking. Didn't know that. Didn't know that. It's wild. I guess any place kind of near freeway would be like that though. But yeah, my mom just didn't know. Like, again, she was working a lot, and then like I had to do a lot of things myself just to get, like, I microwaved eggs. God, I tell my husband that, and I used to microwave eggs because that's the only way I could like cook eggs, and that's what I would have with like some bread and cheese and stuff, and I somehow enjoyed it. Or I would just eat peanut butter out of the jar because that's just what I did. So that's how I got my nutrition, was peanut butter and eggs, which could be worse. Yeah, I know, I fucking know. Everyone I tell that to is like, you microwaved, you ate your eggs, you monster. I was like, one, I didn't know better, and two, I didn't have another choice. The oven stove was unusable. But it's not, hear me out. It's not that bad. Microwaved eggs are not, I haven't had one since I lived with her, mind you, but like, I don't think they're that bad. I don't know, I could retry it and see, like, go back and retry it, but like, I don't know. I don't remember. The problem is that you occasionally try to do it now. Occasionally. I haven't done it in a really long time. I don't remember the last time I actually did that at all. You take that back. What am I taking back? They're not that bad. Just because you've never done it doesn't mean you've never even done it. Everyone who says it's gross has probably never microwaved a damn egg. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I did want to do that 2 days ago. I just wanted something quick. I had a gummy in me. I hadn't eaten all day. I was hungry, okay? I'm sure a lot of people, or go back to it was scrambled eggs in a mug with some cheese. But so, not really scrambled, more like a patty. It kind of just looked like a patty. Like, you microwave it, and then you cook it like that, and you just slap it on some bread, and you're good to go. Occasionally I'd add spinach and cheese though. Like, you get a little bougie with your microwaved. I sound like a fucking redneck. You get a little bougie with your things. I remember telling the people at Hoarders to bring good respirators because the mold and smell is very strong. They actually had to have like an inspector come out to make sure there weren't bed bugs, because I had found bug carcasses, but I wasn't sure what they were. So they had a guy come out. I was like, oh yeah, there's bugs here, but there's not bed bugs, which is what their main concern was. And then there was brown widows. We found brown widows I don't know if they filmed anywhere. There was a whole drawer we pulled out that had live brown widows in it. Like, it was like, oh god, they're like beautiful but horrifying. Because brown widows are different than black widows. Brown widows are actually really pretty. They aren't as potent with their venom, but they are still venomous. The Florida is showing. What do you mean the Florida is showing? The redneck part? The comment? Is that what it is? Do not make me go grassland girl. Valley girl, not grassland girl. And I'm like, one of the things, I'm gonna be fucking flipping back and forth between serious and not serious. It's gonna happen, and this is just my life. This is just my life. My mom and I still have a relationship. I feel like that shocks a lot of people. I mean, I can understand why it might shock. She has gotten better over the years though, which helps a lot. And I do like spending time with her. I just don't go to her place, and she comes over rarely to mine because I can't always handle it. Most time we go to a place together, like the movies or to dinner or something. We don't like try to invade each other's space, if that makes sense, because obviously like I can't deal with dirtiness, and like she can deal with cleanness. And it was almost, she came over one time because I was sick, and she started doing the dishes, which was like, what? Like I was almost offended just because like you can't do your own cleaning. Well, how are you doing mine? She wanted to put a load in the dishwasher, which my mom doesn't really know how to do that so well, I figured out. But or maybe I'm just super OCD with like getting things together in a very civic order in the dishwasher, which is probably the case. Let's be honest. Geographic type girl. Yep, I'm geographic girl. But yeah, I didn't have friends I had one friend for 13 years for the most part, because everyone else I didn't really get close to. I had one friend down in Florida. We're still friends, and she's the only one, partly because of my living situation. She was very aware of it. She and her mom wanted to do something about it, but I asked them not to because of, you know, fear of what my mom might do to herself. But yeah, it was really hard because I'm like, if I make friends, they're gonna want to come over, and I don't want to like do that to people. So yeah. Has she I have no idea. Well, so yes, to a point. I do know she sees a psychiatrist when she has to get medication refills, so that's probably once a month or every other month. I know she's on medication now, and I know she has to see someone for it periodically to get refills, but I don't think they're very long sessions at all. So she's getting some form of professional help. Is it enough? I don't think so, in my opinion, because there are things about herself that I think she could work on that she doesn't want to change. She doesn't think she has to change, which I don't know. I feel like she's not seeing things in herself that could be like changed. I know she's trying to make up for some of the stuff that she has done in the past, but it's hard because it's like it's like seeing stuff through like what is it, a rose tinted glass? Is that what the saying is? I think that's the saying, rose tinted glass. She sees things from a different perspective, because I don't know how to put this well, because some people are gonna probably, and I know like friends would tell me opposite, but I want to say she wasn't like a terrible mother. It's just like, and I know from what you guys have heard and like other things she has done that, you know, people close to me would argue against, but like there are things that she did. It's very like give and take. It's like there are things she did that were very good, and I know, and there are some things she did that were very, very harmful. So people are like, you're Stockholm syndrome, and I'm like, maybe a while ago. I don't know. I don't, but it's like she's still my mother. We do our best to like keep things separate now, but we still go out and have fun. It's like, again, she doesn't really come over too much, and I don't go to her house at all. We keep those separate, and that works for me because it helps me not have to relive trauma that I don't want to have to, because living with her in some of those conditions was horrifying. And I also hated going to school a lot of times, not because I couldn't keep up with the work. I just hated being around people because I was always picked on. Part of that was like my clothes, because we were poor and I wore just not great stuff. And it's just like, yeah, which is why I was like, yeah, I do my best. I like that I can do my own thing now. And yeah, it's it's hard with family, especially like I feel like with your parents too. I know some people like up and got out, like my brother. Yeah, I was angry with my brother for a long time for leaving me, but you know, we patched that up after a while. And it's just like I understand why my brother left. He couldn't live with her anymore. He couldn't deal with the stress of all that. Like she, yeah, no, my mom does love me. She just doesn't know how to take care of me. My mom also had my brother and I. My parents were parents at a young age, and I don't know if they ever really learned, because I believe my mom got pregnant at 18, and and my dad joined the military right after high school, so like it's not like they had ever really been prepped to be parents, so they didn't really know. I mean, my dad wasn't around a lot anyway because of the military. That happens because it's not like she traveled with him with us. We stayed, and then he went on his horribly long cruises or whatever the hell they call it in the Navy. But my mom, it loved us. That wasn't the problem. Is she just didn't know how to take care of both herself and then children, and then a whole living situation with, you know, keeping a place clean and trying to cook. And it just, over time, it very clearly like fell apart. What gets me is like some of the people she was with had been okay with the hoard or contributed to it. She had a boyfriend that contributed to it. We actually found remnants of his stuff on the show, like his fucking spit bottles, because he chewed tobacco and was spit in a bottle and not throw it away. Because that was wonderful. And I was just like, because when she was dating him, I was still living at the place that was filmed, and it's like that. Yep, I know you weren't part of that, but also like the whole thing of the hoarders, I like how they're like how many takes we had to do, just because some of the stuff I would say would be kind of low. I won't talk high, and I'm not used to carrying a mic pack on me. Like they have one strapped to you, which, fun fact, you have to tell them when you go into the bathroom for them to switch off your sound, otherwise everyone hears you peeing. So that's great. Several people forgot to tell, so we heard so many people peeing. But like if they heard you do it, then they turned off and they'd laugh. Or the one guy who was taking a horrible shit. That was hilarious. Like it sounds bad. So like my dad was planned because they didn't want to film the episode with just my mom, my brother, and I. They wanted another family member, either my mom's brother or our dad. And so naturally my uncle wanted nothing to do with the show, and that's fair, because he's one of the people who really fought my mom was trying to take care of my brother and I. And yeah, he had an issue because he didn't know how bad the place was. He tried to get in multiple times to get pictures to see how we were living. So my uncle wanted nothing to do with it, but my dad really didn't, because for various reasons. But I had to be like, you're not doing this for her, you're doing this for your children. It was still like pulling teeth to get him to get on the show. And I really don't like having to talk to my parents like they're my children, which happens to be the case a lot of times. Like I have had so much in my life where I feel like which is probably why I was a great nanny, because I have been a nanny before to kids, and I never thought, I was like, oh, I thought I'm just doing the basics, but apparently I'm knocking out of the park with being a nanny. I had to rescue one of the children. I was nanny over the summer. I had to rescue one of them because like they went in the pool. I looked away for 1 second, and he was starting to drown, and I just like had to pull him out of the water, and because someone had like pushed him in, and it's like, oh my god, like I'm not even in a swimsuit, by the way. It's like this poor kid. And it's just like, watch where you guys are doing. But yeah, piss bonding on the Hoarder show. But like I had to be an adult, I feel like, from an early age to both of my parents, because they constantly don't act like adults. They act like children a lot, which is interesting. But yeah, so my dad, hard fought, finally got him to agree to be on the show for a very brief period of time, because he didn't want to be doing that for very long, which is also why he left early. He wasn't actually there for very long. They wanted to have him have the like shocking experience of looking at the place, but I'm sitting here like, you haven't seen the fridge. Which I'm glad, like, because like they're sitting here and it's like, I'm so glad. She's like, I think you should take a look at the fridge. And I'm like, that's one thing I requested. I'm like, before they remove that and tape it up, because I know they're throwing it away, you just look at the fridge. It's not even the worst fridge that it's probably not even the second worst fridge we lived in. Maybe not even the third. Jesus. No, because we had some weird stuff growing in the very first one. But oh my god, it was just it was like a godsend watching them throw the fridge out, watching and then hearing the stories from other hoarding families. One, it makes you feel not alone, but then we heard some horror ones too, like real horror from some of the people. Kids are good at that. Okay, the more, I don't know why that's popping up right now. Okay, good show talk for, okay. One of the things, I watched a lot of hoarders when I lived with my mom, which is ironic considering the state of the house that we lived in. She was always like, it's not that bad, which I feel like a lot of hoarders say that. A lot of hoarders will say like they're not that bad, and it's like, look at where we're living. It is that bad. There's boxes to the roof. There's trash. When they evicted us, they literally had to use shovels to get everything out. They had to use shovels to the place we evicted to get it all out. Like there was so much. There was so much. And you know, they say they're not that bad, but and yeah, you don't really see her bedroom in the filming for good reason. There was a lot of stuff there they just could not show. It was also just filled with trash. They just took a shovel and just, you know, get it all out. One of the things we learned is one, they had episodes planned that never actually went to TV or got much produced. We learned that they had everything planned. They showed up at the house and they had to call a relative to get the house open, and the person who was supposed to be on the show was deceased inside. They had passed away in their own hoard, and that's horrifying. They have found, during some of their extreme cleans, they have found people that the hoarders didn't know were living in the house until the extreme cleaning went to the basement and found homeless people living in the basement of the hoard. So that never aired. And I was just like, oh my god. There has been times, they said one time they had to pack up and leave, including leaving equipment behind, because one of the people who initially agreed to filming pulled out a shotgun and threatened to kill the crew if they started filming, and so they just ran and got in their cars and left some of the equipment behind. They said it is not, because the producers are like, yeah, film it, and the crew's like, nope. We're done. Like, we're not, they're not, no nightmare houses is what these are. Like, the fact is like, the crew is like, when we're talking, they're like, yeah, like hoarders are gonna be resistant to a level of cleaning. Honestly, I don't think my mom did as bad. Like, yeah, she was resistant a bunch of times, and she did not want to wake up in the morning. She's not an early riser. She was not happy to do the show. It was the last thing I just wanted her to live in a clean house, and I was kind of hoping she would get help afterwards, and she did got some level of help. She thought she would be able to keep it clean, but she didn't, and I'm always wondering, I'm like, what makes you hoard trash? What makes you hoard in general? It's definitely trauma related, right? You have to, like, you're holding on that stuff for a sense of control, and I clean because I get my sense of control from a clean house, from maintaining. But it's like, there's definitely a lot of, I feel like, unresolved issues there, and obviously in the show I did cut all of that part of the footage out. I wasn't gonna show that, but because she didn't, it's not like she opened up anyway. They just had it hanging like it was some sort of cliffhanger. They also, I was really sick during the filming, and like, there were many times they were really following me around a lot, and I'm not used to having a giant camera follow me around, which is it's a strange thing. It's a strange thing, and I had to run out because they opened up like the fridge, and I don't know, one of the times they opened up, because it was a couple different times, they opened up the freezer, I think is what it was, and I just started vomiting, and I like ran out because it was snowing, and I ran out. I was throwing up in the snow. And they're sitting there with the camera close up on me
Like, you're not gonna show this, right? Like, I'm vomiting. I'm like, literally, like, you're not, and they didn't show it. It's not the first time I was sick on that show. And they were actually worried about me, like, the other times, because I was very sick, but, which, I was like, please don't show any of that. Any of that. I don't want any of it. I don't want people seeing me sick and dry heaving and throwing up, and, like, they don't need to see that. They don't need to see that. The reason why you don't see my mom's bedroom is not just because it was hard to get in there, the clutter, it's because they were inappropriate. There were both personal things in there and also like really inappropriate things. Like we started cleaning, glad I was wearing gloves, and I found a thing that belonged to my mom, and I'm just like, yep, that is a thing you never want to find. That is a thing you never want to fucking see, but here we are, in the trash it goes. Oh, I'm glad my brother wasn't like in the room at the time. Fuck me, God, I was not happy about it. And that's when they were like, they cut camera, and they were just helping us clean her bedroom. They were not filming at all, like, at that point, because they're like, yeah, we can't show. I was like, yeah, you want to blur the whole room? You want to blur the I'm just glad they were respectful. I mean, they have to fit 22, like, it's only 22 minutes. They have so much footage, and they're trying to do only 22 minutes anyway, so it's probably fairly easy to avoid a lot of certain types of footage. And I'm just like, oh yeah, let's just, you know, edit out all the times where she was sick and all the times her, you know, cleaning out the mom's room. And then, you know, they showed a lot of it in my former bedroom where she had moved into and put like a little setup there. My mom actually got sick during the filming too, because for whatever reason, I don't know if it was stress relief, and I don't know if they talk about it on the show in the episode. I don't think they really do, or at least not much. There's a cup sitting near her bed of blankets that she was sleeping near the heater, and there was like, I don't know what was in it, I don't know, but she drank from it, and it was old. It was like old, right? And she got sick from that, and they were like, why did you drink from it? Because she was like, I don't know. And it's like, because my mom, the cups, that's the thing I can't stand. It's like, why do you have cups everywhere? I just don't like, trash aside, like even like the dog shit ground of the carpet is like gross. And I was like, okay, you just never cleaned it, obviously, but like the cups you can throw away. You can throw away the cups, and I just don't understand why she kept them, and they were full of liquid and would gather fruit flies who would poop all over it and create this horrible like infestation. It's like really a toxic environment for mental health and physical health, and I just don't understand that. And it's just like, I feel like it's like a really big self-destruction that she doesn't see. It's got for maybe for hoarders, it's that sense of control. We see it as destruction because it is destruction. It's just letting go of things for some people is extremely difficult. I always hope like in the future, like that I never have like issues, because it's a constant battle. Growing up and having to feel like I was the parent early on and having to parent my parents is probably what helped me like learn how to clean and cook and do laundry all by myself at a really young age. I'm glad I'm self-sufficient, and it's just like it's just like why it's the adjustment period from leaving my mom's house, and then also like not long after leaving my dad's house. Honestly, it wasn't terrible because I was living with people, but it wasn't, man, living with others can be a little strange. But I was like, well, I'm not living with a hoarder, and I would clean up the whole house myself and organize the fridge and keep the fridge clean, and it's fine. Like, it works out that way. Honestly, it was a way better experience to live, like to get out of the house and be independent, than it was to live there, because it's like now I can clean and not get yelled at. I do struggle with cleaning when people are home, unless I like immensely, like obviously if it's like my husband, I can clean, but like if I'm cleaning someone else's house, like depending on who they are, like I have in-laws that are struggling and I go over there and help clean when I'm feeling well enough to. I struggle to do it when they're home because I'm always worried about them breathing down my neck. It's that traumatic, it's like that response of like when I would like clean my mom's house, it'd be like this huge great rush, but try to get it done before she gets home because I know she's gonna blow up, she's gonna yell. That's what hoarders do. They'll yell at you because they don't want you to clean the house. She get really mad because she can't do it, but you know she won't do it. And so I would, because there were times where I just got fed up. I wanted friends over. I wanted to clean house, and you know, any little thing. It's like she knew. I don't even know how it's possible. You could throw away 2 cups out of like the 100 cups plus on the table. She would know. She would know, and you would get like in trouble. And that's why my brother got sick of the yelling and the trash. He just wanted to live in a clean place and have like actual food. Got to the point where like I would go grocery shopping. As a kid, I would steal her food stamp card and go grocery shopping to buy dry goods that I could just eat out of the bag so I could get nutrition, right? It's like, otherwise it's like you're stuck eating once a day when you go out to eat at a cheap little place, and that sucks. But like, I'm trying to remember, we've talked about in the video about health issues, so we can just skip that. I got spider bites all the time. I want to say spider bites are probably because there were more spiders because of the horde, but maybe we were just unlucky and had a lot of spiders. I don't know. Like, I say that, it's like I'm really not entirely sure. Like, if well, I guess if they're attracted by bugs and there's bugs in the horde, that could be why. That could be why. It was really weird because like there's been times where like I've taken a trip to drive past that place that we had the filming done, and it's kind of wild to see it. And it's like, man, people live there now. People live there now, and it's just it's wild knowing, you know, the horde was there. It was terrible. And we had that 5 days of just filming, which the first day is just interviews. And then it's like the filming of the day 1, 2, and 3, and then there's wrap up and stuff. So like it kind of goes, it feels like it goes really quick. At the same time, it takes forever. I will say the psychologist, I forget what her name is, blonde lady who we had, she seemed nice enough. I don't know if I ever actually communicated much with her at all. She mostly like was in her RV, is it called like RV? She was in her like RV a lot. They called her the princess, and she would come out after like everyone else had pretty much done everything, and she would spend a little bit of time with my mom, but honestly not a huge amount of time out, like, to be real there. She felt a little bit disconjointed from the rest of the crew, like, if that makes sense. It didn't, I don't know how helpful she was. She's knowledgeable for sure. I don't know how personal and like how personal and helpful she truly was during that filming. I will be real. Corey, like everyone, I posted the pictures of the crew. Those were the tech, sound guys, and the cleaners, and well, some of them, and then Corey, and it's just like all of them were great. They were goofballs, but they were also like felt actually supportive. They were there to actually support you, and if anything was going on, if anything was going on, I don't know how much she did besides. So she's actually like a clinical psychologist, though. She's a clinical psychologist, so she's supposed to help, right? Right? Like, am I wrong? Is it that her role is to be like, here's some, I mean, how much therapy can you actually do over like the 3-day period she was involved? In which case she was probably involved maybe like 3 hours of that whole time. Corey was in it like the whole time, and the producer too was pretty nice. But also the maid crew that came out to do the final like cleaning after everything else was picked up, the maid crew came out was really funny because my mom used to work for them. That was something else. She didn't work for them for a long time, but still she had worked for them, so that was like, oh no, hopefully they don't recognize you. They honestly did a pretty good job getting that place spruced up compared to what it looked like, you know, before that. I don't know if they, part of me is like, they probably had to hire like similar people for the other horde she had, or like I feel like whoever cleans up after crime scenes, because the place we lived in before the place that was filmed was so awful, truly awful. It was so bad. It was so bad. Actually had mold everywhere and just like unwalkable for 90% of the whole space was just unwalkable and unmovable. Like stacks of papers is like really high up, and well, not even just papers, it was just things. And we had a dog during all that. We still had Onyx during that time. Felt really bad for that dog, by the way. It's just she was such a good girl too. But yeah, it's just you would think that she would be as helpful as the crew who was, you know, they're there for sound and camera, and Corey's kind of a host. He's also like specializes in extreme cleaning. But he was so much more helpful than, you know, her. It's just like I feel like he actually could talk to you calmly. He felt real. He felt real, which is what it's like, okay, like he actually wants to help. And like, 'cause I know like a couple people, like something was already said, but what was life like after living with a hoarder? And like as in life and the adjustments you made after being out on your own. It's, well, I already had the experience cleaning, and I took part-time jobs like online that I would go out to people's houses and clean. And then like I became a babysitter and a nanny and a dog sitter. I had other part-time jobs. This is how bad I was with the internet, by the way. My very first job, I was going to apply for it because my dad's like, you have to get a job that's not like cleaning, and I'm like, okay, because I used to have a thing where I'd go out and do yard work with two of my friends. We'd get paid. We'd hit up like 5 yards a day, and like they'd pay us, and we'd split it 3 ways after gas was paid off. And I went to apply to this particular place, and I'm not familiar with the internet well enough, and I'm using the house computer in my stepbrother's room, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's called Dick's Sporting Goods. So I just put dicks.com because I figured that's what it would be. Nope. That was a porn site I ended up on, not Dick's Sporting Goods. I learned that day. I learned how unaccustomed I am. And then like, I didn't know that you could delete your history or clear it. I didn't know any of that. So I was just like sitting there. I was embarrassed. I blamed it on my brother. By the way, when they found out, which took them a bit to find out, thankfully, but I blamed it on him, so it was all good. But yeah, what surprised me is, I don't know, I enjoyed living on my own. I suppose that's a bit surprising. Like, it was, despite how nervous I was, I adjusted really well to being out of that environment, being in a clean place where I can cook my own food, and I'm going to work and I'm paying my own bills. It felt liberating. It was so liberating to be out of that horde, and like, it's like I am my own person now. I don't feel like I am attached to the hip or having, you know, my parents breathe down my neck. And it's just like, I was always considered my family always said I lacked common sense, which after the psychologist, he's like, that's what a lot of people with autism are told. And he's like, that's really insensitive, because obviously I am able to get by. A lot of them have come, you know, ask me for things, which is hilarious considering the things they have said to me. It's like, oh, okay. And I do, because I help them, because I don't know why. Their family, it's hard to turn family away. You put boundaries up, sure, but those boundaries sometimes crumble a bit. I'm getting better as of recently about putting those boundaries up. It's taken a long time to like reinforce that, because I would just let people walk all over me, mostly my family, and that's not good to do. It's not good to do at all. Or have, you know, people who used to be my friends walk all over me, and you know, it happens. You learn to set boundaries for yourself, because you have to. And what kind of things did you learn that you liked after being trapped in that situation for so long? So I learned that I used to really like horse racing, and I think that was just an escape. Like, I loved horses. I've rode horses. I did it in college for a bit of time. And I was good at it, which is odd because how I learned to ride horses was actually video games. And they're like, why do you hold your reins like that? Like, who taught you how to do that? And I'm like, a video game? I learned from playing video games. And it helped me because like I have to build up muscle and build up my bone density and stuff, right? I want to keep them as strong as I can. Horse riding is actually good for that. My God, will you get some muscle on there? I had to eat so much when I was riding horses, but I was also rock climbing at the same time. And I think that's probably contributed to some of my upper body strength. But yeah, it's just like, I kind of drifted away from horses and stuff. And I learned that I love Halloween, and I have always loved it, but I like love Halloween and I love haunted houses. They don't scare me. Horror games do. I didn't really play a lot of, I've played some video games, but I didn't really play a whole lot of video games besides horse racing games and Grand Theft Auto. And then like when I finally got out there and I was around other people, I played a lot more diverse of games and diverse of movies and stuff. I love horror films. God, that's something of all the trauma I've encouraged and I've lived through. And I'm like, I like horror movies. I like haunted houses. I like Halloween. I like scary games, even though I scream. Everything I do is a fucking horror fest. I like working out. That's a little bit different of reasons. Is because I want to have self-control and I want to be able to, you know, keep as healthy as I can. But yeah, I don't know, I like a lot of horror-based things I've learned since escaping from that. I mostly like cleaning. There are times where I go too far with it, for sure. For sure. I like cooking, but before I was just doing the bare basics. I've gotten creative with cooking, which, not TikTok creative. I've seen the monstrosities the people on TikTok create, and that's not food. I don't know what they're creating, but it shouldn't be edible. If you want to die of diabetes, maybe, because like, holy shit, some of the sugar they put on there. Hi, Storm Glider. It has been a while. But yeah, I liked cooking. I like having, probably the biggest thing that I learned that I liked after being trapped in that situation and getting my own place, having friends over. Holy shit, having friends over for movie nights, having friends over for parties like Halloween. I would always, up until COVID, I threw very elaborate Halloween parties. Like, I would plan games, like all the sorts of things to do that is not just sitting around talking. Like, I had games planned, like charades. I was able to do all that. It was so liberating. Being able to like go places and have like clean clothes and stuff is like a big deal. But like having people over, I wasn't like super afraid to have people over. I mean, I still cleaned like crazy before they came over, but like it was so nice to have people over. It was so nice to just meet people. And it's like, yay. Okay, I'm breathing. And once it was their adjustment period to being able to live outside of the hoarding situation, and I feel like for a lot of people there probably is. There might also, maybe it's like 50-50, because like for me it wasn't a huge adjustment, honestly. And I say that because like my situation getting out of there was so, anything was gonna, like it was pretty much gonna be better than that. So like getting out of there was like getting my own space, I think was important, because living with my dad, there was an adjustment period. It wasn't great, because my dad's wife at the time ran a daycare out of her home, and all the rooms were always filled with children, so I couldn't be in my own room, and which was in the basement also, which I have issues in the basement because of stuff. So like that wasn't great, but then I couldn't even be in my own room because there would be children sleeping in my bed. So I had problems with space issues there with like, I need to have my own space to escape to. Therapy has taught me that. Like I have times where I just sit in the shower because my bathroom and kitchen are super, like everything's clean, but like those are my pet peeves, is the kitchen and the bathroom. And I like being able to sit in a hot shower is just like calming. It's just like the best experience. And knowing that I need my own space. Like living with my dad wasn't great because like I can't deal with people invading my space if I'm forced to get out. It's like I don't like that, so I do my best to just not be home. But once you get in your own space, you get your own place, it's really important. it helps you adjust to like everything. You can just go into a retreat and be quiet and quiet down your mind. ASMR also, like, I know I didn't discover that for years, but ASMR has been very helpful and helping me cope as well. And I wonder how many people who've listened to ASMR have like been helped a lot. I know I don't really know. Oh, thank you, Storm Glider. I'm talking about, I don't know if you read the title. My mom was on Hoarders years and years ago. It's actually been over a decade. And yeah, I lived in that hoard for like well over a decade. And it affected me like a lot. I think it's safe to say a lot. There's obviously some things like I won't talk about, but it's just hearing the stories of the crew and hearing the like, no, I mean, when you have a show like that, yes, it's reality. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is like, these are real people. These are people with real families, with real problems. These people have probably experienced a significant amount of trauma in their lives to having, you know, to live in a mess of this caliber. Something is obviously wrong. They need help. Yes, they're cleaning it. Cleaning it isn't a long-term solution unless someone's going out there and cleaning it. The solution is therapy if they're reciprocating to that. If they're not, there's only so much you can do. And it's like when you, especially like, I didn't know there were, I wanted to talk because like I wanted to share my story because, but I also wanted to know other people's stories. Like, I obviously, for people who don't want to say, they don't have to, but to hear, I've read all the comments under my video of people who've been through similar situations as mine, and it's so sad. It's so nice to not be alone, but it also sucks because I'm so sorry that other people had to go through what I had to go through for the most part. Like that, like, I'm so sorry, but also you got through it, and like I'm also proud of all of them for getting through it. And I understand the problems that they have, because I'm like, some of them recommended I go to Reddit, and so I did, and I read other people's stories, and I see other people still actively going through, like they're not out yet. Some of them are still in it, and I feel so bad. And it's just like, I don't know how to like help. I want to. I feel like there's not enough, other than, unless you have money, there's no help. Like, there's no help. Like, if you don't have money or family willing to help, because we had neither, we went to national TV. We went to Hoarders for help, because that's the only thing we could think to get help, is they would clean the house, and then my mom might get therapy out of it. And I'm so sorry. And it's so hard to see a family member that hoards and then they don't see a problem, because a lot of times they don't see a problem. And I mean, sometimes they do, and they just don't change it, and you don't understand exactly why. It's like, why are you willing to put yourself through this? Like, part of me is like, do you hate yourself? Is that why? But also, it's even more difficult when children are put in the mix, because like my brother and I had to live in this and just deal with it, and it was just normal. Our childhood, we just grew up like that. It's his stuff and he's gonna use it. Yeah, it depends. So it also depends what people hoard. Some people will like hoard like one type of thing. Other people hoard like anything, or people like my mother, because she's poor, hoard trash, because trash is easy when you're poor to bring into the house, because you don't have to spend money. You can literally dumpster dive. She did dumpster dive. She tried to bring me, when I got my own place, she would try to bring me stuff like that was from a dumpster, that was like food and stuff, and it's just like, no, yeah, I'm sorry. I can understand with you there, because my mom did a lot of hoarding of trash and just food that she would let sit out, and milk that she didn't put in the fridge. I don't understand what some of that was about. I'm like, I've seen it in other family members, and it's like scary, because like, yeah, sometimes they want my help and I try, but then I have to go home and take a gummy and sit in the fucking shower. And it's just like, because I'm like, I have trouble coping with going over and helping someone else who has very real hoarding tendencies, even though it's not as anywhere near as extensive as my mother's was, but it's still there, and it's still like hard to look at. It's still kind of traumatizing to see. And I know people are like wanting to make more hoarders content, and I'm like, Maybe, I don't know. And if I do, it's obviously gonna be something I choose. There's only one other episode that really interests me that I have found, and it's someone who hoards Halloween stuff. And the curiosity is there with these people. It's like, well, I was like, what makes you hold on to this stuff? Like what broke? Like what broke? Because something, you know, obviously emotionally or mentally is unstable. Something caused that. And it's just like, but what caused all of that stuff, you know? And it took me a while because I used to have a place in Florida to retreat to. I used to go to St. Augustine in Florida because I lived near there. And that used to be my retreat, right? And I didn't have a place up in Ohio when I was up here until, honestly, fairly recently I found one that kind of gives me that like vibe of St. Augustine. And so now I go up there because it's a bit of a drive, and I go up there and hang out sometimes. But it's just like you find interesting ways to cope, and everyone's like, how did you cope? Like, they're always like, oh, you coped healthy because like I clean, I stress clean, and I stress work out, right? Like I will, if I get overly worked up or overly tense, I will work out really hard, or I will, which is not always great, but or I'll stress clean. And like, yeah, that's semi-healthy coping mechanisms because I'm not turning to like drinking or like all that other stuff. But however, there's been times where like I exercise to the point where I've had to be taken to the emergency room because like I have my heart, I have POTS, so, and then occasionally my heart will like do weird stuff, and usually like, so it can be random. Yes, I get tachycardic, but it can also get bad if I work myself out too hard, and then I go into like SVT, and that's not great. So, or I hurt myself because I'm working out so hard because like the endorphins are going, and I'm like, oh yeah, happy brain chemicals, we're gonna keep this up because it's keeping the stress at bay, and then you overdo it, right? Or like the other thing is like, yeah, cleaning has been like a way of how I get control back. Listening to music has been a beautiful thing that I never really thought I liked until like I really like music after getting out of the Hoard. Like that's helped change also because I was subject to country music for the most part when I lived with my mom, and oh god, I kind of hate country music now. I'll be real. But like I love other music. I love Electric Callboy, love Paramore. Well, mostly their older stuff. I listen to so much K-pop. I love K-pop. The music from K-pop Demon Hunter. Music has honestly helped a lot in a lot of ways with yourself. Keep things because it might be useful sometime. I have trouble, so when I go into my cleaning sprees, and I don't know, I'm assuming other people have this too, I will just start, like, for people who have like the opposite of hoarding, who grew up with a parent hoarder, I will just start throwing stuff away that I shouldn't throw away. Like, I shouldn't throw this away, but I am, because I just don't, it has no place in this house, right? Like, I have literally thrown away, like, gone on a spree, and I'm just like, just throwing anything away, because I was like, I don't want it in the house. I need control, and I need it to be clean. And it's just, it's an interesting response to have. Man, my Discord keeps going off today. I'm like, oh my god, am I getting, like, pinged for more Elden Ring? Oh my goodness, so we're doing Reforged mod, and it's much more difficult than actual Elden Ring. Okay, what was one of the other questions? I didn't put people's usernames on here because I wasn't sure if they wanted their username read or not, and because I didn't get explicit permission to use their username, so I didn't put it on there. What was the biggest unexpected thing that happened? It kind of ruined my dad's marriage. If that's the biggest unexpected thing that happened. He was already divorced from my mom. That wasn't the problem. It's just like, his wife at the time really didn't like that. So that was the biggest unexpected thing, is it kind of ruined marriage. Ooh, my foot's doing that hurt. That's nauseating. My foot's still doing that weird creaky thing, that middle bone is. I don't think it's sitting right. I don't know if I should get that looked at or just wrap it and wear a boot, because I don't know what the heck it's doing there. I'll take some ibuprofen and call it a day probably. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Time to call the doctor. Yeah, I've broken bones before, and I've stress fractured a lot, but like I've never had it, like it's not my hand, it's my bone, but I've never had, it's not my toe, it's above the toe, but it's whatever that other bone is that runs, it's kind of long, and it's somewhat near my toe, and like anytime I move my foot, specifically like up and stuff, it hurts. Sure, mostly when I put pressure on it, but it also makes a, what's the best way to describe this, because it's a sound, but it's like a sound that I feel like creaking, like a creaking sound. That's what I feel in my foot, and like it hurts too. It goes like, you know what I mean? Like that's, I know this is totally off topic, but I don't know, it's a weird thing. It's like, how do you describe a sound but you feel it? Like, you know what I mean? It's a sound that I'm feeling. I don't know how to explain that to a doctor without sounding crazy. Like, it's like, what are you just like, this one is wrong. I was like, I don't know if it's a tendon issue or a bone issue. I mean, it hurts in a very specific spot. Like it's a very specific part that it hurts. So yeah, Nora stuff, and I have a permanent issue with my ankle because I didn't get it seeing a click or snap. So it's not like a snap or a click. But it is a weird sound. But yeah, I'm just tired of going to the doctor. I'm there all the time, guys. Like I try to get stuff, but then there's other stuff I ignore that becomes problematic because I'm like, I have EDS. I am always at the doctor because I always have weird stuff happen to me, right? Sometimes it needs surgery, sometimes it just needs physical therapy. But I'm just tired of going to the doctor for weird stuff. When I went in and I had COVID, that was the easiest thing for my doctor to be like, oh yeah, it's this. Or when I got vasculitis from the COVID, it was like, oh yeah, you just gotta take these meds. He's like, this is easy. You finally have a problem that doesn't require a ton of work. It's literally just take these medications, and then as long as it doesn't get super bad, you're gonna be fine. COVID sucked, by the way. I'm still tired all the time from it. But other than that, like my cough is finally gone completely. That took forever to go away, but like I feel like, or the scratchy throat from it, because it was my first go, and literally on my fucking wedding anniversary this year, I got COVID. I woke up and like I started feeling off, and the next day I was like felt like shit, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. I haven't felt like this since I had strep throat, but this doesn't feel like strep throat because my throat doesn't actually hurt. I was like, I had like a really bad like aches and pains, and they're like, oh yeah, you got COVID. They just did a little nose swab. I thought I had the flu. Nope, it was COVID. And I was like, man, it's my first run and it sucks. I don't know how I managed to escape it for 5 years, guys. Probably because I don't go outside much. I also went to Cedar Point on their opening night of Halloween Weekends. That is almost definitely where I picked it up because I got it, my husband got it, and our friend one of the friends we went with got it. So like, yeah, but I'll probably call my doctor and message my doctor about it. Like, hey, this is a thing that's happening. I don't know how to describe this well, but he's used to me like having weird problems, like how my rib like will move around for no reason. Like it just flops around sometimes. He's like, man, you have a really long rib cage. It's just like, I get the weirdest like things too. But you know, it is what it is. Everyone has to deal with shit they don't want to, right? This creaking is good just because it's not a click or snap. Yeah, I don't know. If it's a stress fracture, it can't be like a big fracture. I feel like I wouldn't be able to bear weight on it at all. I can bear weight on it. It just sucks. Because I've had bad breaks where I couldn't bear weight on it, like really bad breaks. And then I've had breaks that have been stress fractures that I can walk on. Like stress fractures hurt, but like not bad. Like once you take the pressure off, it's like, okay, it's tolerable. It's fine. It's just, I like moving. I like to move around, and I wanted to make pumpkin pie today because, oh, what's everyone's favorite like sweet treat? I suppose some people say pumpkin pie doesn't count, but it's still a pie. It's still sweet. It counts. It's one of my pumpkin flavored, like if it's pumpkin pie or pumpkin cheesecake or pumpkin muffins are like my favorite things to make. Really random, but I have a love for all things pumpkin since I escaped the horde. Like I'm not kidding, like I got out of the horde, and within like a year of getting things stable and learning to like cook and stuff, like really learn how to do like good meals like curry, I started cooking with like, I make pumpkin stuff when I'm feeling good. I like to make muffins, pies, all of it. Oh my god, the one time I got carried away and I made so much for our party. our oven actually broke that night, and I had to run to my in-laws to like make the rest of the I was up to like 3 a.m. cooking because I had prepped so much stuff and it all needed an oven. Like it all needed an oven. I had made like 3 pies, like 24 different cupcakes of pumpkin cupcakes. Like it was insane. And I'm just like, this is what happens when I get on a cooking spree, guys. And my neighbors are all old and never home, so I'm like, I don't have anywhere to like put these. So now it's just like I have to go to a friend's house, like, hey, you're eating this now. When I get my clean sprees, if you guys follow Lili25 on Twitch, she's my very good friend and streamer, and I will go over there and like stress clean her house. Like after my grandpa passed away, and he's the one who called me Belby all the time, like I was obviously upset, and I had stress cleaned. I think I stress cleaned when my other grandpa, who I wasn't as close to, passed away, because that was kind of a stressful time. But like I went over there and like, hey, so like I'm kind of upset, but like I need to like channel it, and I'm like, can I come over and clean your apartment? And she's like, yes. So I spent like almost the whole day like just cleaning her apartment. It was great. And I just like, she's like, you want to do anything? I was like, nope, just stay out of the way. I just want to clean. I got the supplies. I just want to clean and organize. And I was like, if they need help, I was like, I don't mind coming over. I can clean other people's places and not get stressed if they're watching me, like to a point, because like if it's a friend like Lili I'm very close with, she can be in the room and I can clean. But if it's like family members, I can't have them in the room with me, or even really on the premises, like on the house or apartment, because like I then get really stressed. I need them out. If they're not home, I can clean so efficiently and stress-free. I'll be literally dancing to music like K-pop while cleaning, and it is great. It is great, I tell you why. That's also what I liked about cleaning when I was in college, and I would go to people's houses and clean and earn money that way. It's like they weren't home. I would go in and I would listen to music, and I would just clean. Because I had something called a Zune back then, which is kind of like an iPod, but like worse. But I had a Zune because my iPod got stolen, because I didn't lock my cars at the time. But you know, it's fine. You learn as you get older with things, right? But yeah, biggest unexpected thing that happened from the show, my dad ruining my dad's marriage. That's gotta be it. My it's really bad but really funny. Other than that, like as far as like I was just shocked that my apartment like was clean. My mom's apartment was clean. Other than that, like I don't know what would really shock me, because I don't know what expectations I actually held from the show, because I wasn't really aware of how reality television worked. It's the first time and only time I've ever been on like reality television, and like I've never really, I guess, thought about like I was like what it did. I was like, well, I mean, it kind of helped my mom's and I relationship briefly for a bit until it went back down. But, and I mean, it kind of goes like this, but lately she's trying a lot more, which is showing. And I don't know what happened the last couple years that have like, just between both of us, that we're trying harder, and she's trying to make up for a lot of past mistakes, which I kind of hope. I don't know how many hoarders do that. And even though I don't know if she's really hoarding her current place, the fact that she is still trying to make up for some of the financial debt she put me in, which is still excessive, but like, and I feel like that for a lot of people is like, they would probably cut connections there when, you know, because yeah, when someone is a hoarder, they're going through trauma, and they obviously have like, they have a lot of money. A lot of trouble with money issues. Poor. She would ask me and my husband for money a lot up until like 2 or 3 years ago. Even though she knows we're not at all like, we're still technically under the poverty level, which is insane. But it's just like, we've never been rich at all. We've never really been well off, but we make do. We actually, with the little money we make, I feel like we stretch it really well. And like we have a roof over our heads. We're able to eat the food that we want to when we go to the store for the most part. We budget, we use coupons, but it's only natural. We have animals, like we live I would say a pretty decent life. And I'm very happy with that. And knowing that my mom is gone from, at times I would have described her for a while as being kind of like a leech, because like I don't want to be a a leech onto society, because I felt like that's how my family viewed things for a while. And then I'm like, no, I just needed help, and my mom needed help. And yeah, she's come a long ways in the last couple years, especially. I do think her near death experience probably helped, but like, because like she got really sick early this year. She got the flu, and it went really bad, and she was in the ICU for a while, and I wasn't sure she was gonna make it because she was septic. I didn't know the flu could fucking do that. And she did really bad with COVID. She was hospitalized from COVID, which was bad, and then she got the flu, and it was it was a horrendous thing to get through, and she's still kind of recovering from like the long-term effects of being in the ICU and having that happen. And I think, I don't know, I'm part of me is like, I'm hoping that wasn't it, because I wouldn't want it to take like such a traumatic event for her to look back on things and try to make amends. But at least she has been, and that's been very nice. And it's clear, like, she's willing to come over and she's willing to help. She was there for my ankle surgery when I had to have that happen. And I mean, they had to move her, but she showed up. And like, I mean, there's been some things that have been intrusive, but like, honestly, she's come a long ways from where she was years ago. And I'm just happy that she's making progress. I really hope she continues to make progress and doesn't go back downhill. That's all I can hope. But yeah, a lot of people wouldn't be able to even maintain a relationship with a parent that has hurt them in the past. So I get that. And anyone who does, like, I'm not going to blame someone who's cut ties with family members who have done that with them. It's just, this is not, my mom didn't do any of that from a place of hate. She did it from a place of pain and trauma. And I recognize that. I see that. It's just, I understand she went through a lot, and I'm just trying to like keep that in mind as I go through stuff. And she's helping. Like, for a while there, like, I had a considerable amount of debt because of her. And I mean, I'm still going through and getting rid of a lot of things, but it's taken time. We're still in debt, but it'll eventually be gone. So, and that's what I do care about. It's just like, honestly, part of that debt I don't even blame her for, because yes, she should have done what she did, but they should never have looked at like the birthday and social security number of a girl, of like a 13-year-old girl, and thought that was okay to use to put someone's name under that and then start running it, right? I was like, you're not going to drop it, even though I was a child. I was underage. It shouldn't have been allowed to put my name. But I was like, she's not the only person to blame there. Let's just put that there out there. It's like, companies are too that allow that, because also the lady over the phone is like, oh yeah, your mom wouldn't be the only one who did, like a lot of parents do. And I'm like, and you let the parents use their children's names and information to put it in for bills and credit cards? Like, that's so fucked. I don't know if that's a thing they can do today after, like, you know, years, because obviously this thing in like prior to 2012, but like, I'm just curious. I'm curious if people still do that kind of that shit. Did your mom unknowingly hoard anything which turned out to be valuable? Dude, I fucking wish. I wish, man. I don't think so. If she did, there was a point in time where she had put some of our stuff in storage facilities, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with the show Storage Wars, or at least I don't know if it's still a thing. It was a thing. Anyway, our stuff got auctioned off because she couldn't pay the bill anymore. So a lot of my stuff that I did like that were collectibles or childhood stuff got auctioned off. Of course, we don't get that money because she didn't pay things, so all that stuff went bye-bye. And yeah. So that really sucked. If any of that stuff was valuable, the people who bought it would probably know. But honestly, no, she never, anything was, it was, again, she brought home trash from fast food. There was nothing of value. And I wish she was like the person to hoard something of value. That'd be nice, because then she could have like got out of debt, or got, you know, not put me in debt. But I don't know, how many hoarders do you think actually hoard stuff that's valuable? Like, and I'm not, because I've seen people hoard clothes, and I don't consider that, unless you're hoarding some like designer stuff, but it's in the hoard, it's probably not going to be worth anything now. But yeah, I don't think we had anything in the house that was ever worth money. I don't even think the Lord of the Rings blade we got is worth money, because I got that, I saved that from the hoard. If you guys have seen in my Ghost Adventures video, I believe it's that one. Yeah, because that's when Zach Bagans calls a woman a piece of bait, or believe. And I have a Lord of the Rings blade. It's a Nazgul blade. It's not worth anything though. It's just fun. It's just fun. That was rescued. It is really cool looking though. It is really cool looking. It needs to be polished a bit. That was the only thing I could think of that had like real sentimental value for me, because I never read the books. I only saw the cartoon Hobbit movie, but I did like the Lord of the Rings movies. It was a nice escape for me when, you know, I was little. So like I really liked the Lord of the Rings movies, and I liked that blade, so I rescued that blade from the hoard. I rescued that blade over my own fucking paintings. I had to pay, so, and you could see it, the painting was there during the filming too. Like, it's the pointillism thing. Like, I got awards from that, and I didn't take it. I just left it behind. It was Pokemon cards, baseball cards, uranium glassware. Dude, my uncle collects uranium glassware. He like gets it for super cheap, and then he has a booth at an antique place and he sells it. But no, so I had Pokemon cards that I collected, and I still have them. The problem is some of them, a good deal of them, got damaged in the hoard. I do have quite a few of them. They're in a folder, the Pokemon folder. It's kind of nasty looking, but like, I'm afraid if I remove them from there, like, they're gonna rip. So, but I do have do you guys remember, so the Pokemon movie, the first one that came out in theaters, they gave you the holographic Ancient Mew Pokemon card? I have those. Do I have two of those? I think I have two of those. I don't know if those are worth money. I'm assuming because they printed them off mass for the movie that they're not worth anything, but I do have two of those. I have a lot of first gen cards because I didn't really collect anything beyond second gen. Doesn't the hoard, yeah, the hoard itself destroys a lot of shit. Like, especially when most of what you get is trash into the house. Like, there's not going to be much in there that's going to be at all salvageable, especially when bugs are in the mix and rodents, and because we did have mice, which is not surprising. And mice in the car too, by the way, because she hoarded her car. If you watch the episode, you can see it. Yeah, there were mice in her car too. That was a I remember like the time when she finally took me to the emergency room after coming back from McDonald's, and like, because I was passed out on the floor, when she finally took me to the ER and I had to pull me up to try to walk me to the car. I was just like nonstop throwing up and dry heaving. And it's just like, I will say, at least like I wasn't puking directly in the car, I was just puking on the trash in the car. Oh, that was a miserable drive. Like, but I was just like, there's just a dead mouse there and you're just throwing up on it. But this is where we are right now. This is where we are. It's part of the syndrome to pick up stuff that isn't of value, but that's amateur opinion. So I don't know. There are people who are hoarders who are like huge time. They call themselves like big time collectors. It is a version of hoarding. But some of them do collect some very valuable stuff. Look at the show, is it Pickers, American Pickers? Like, they found some really valuable stuff from people. Not some of them were straight up hoarders, but not everyone was hoarders in there. Some of them were like, they were hoarders, but like they kept everything very tidy and neat in their barns and stuff, where they collected stuff. I personally couldn't have a nightmare like that if I had property. I could not have a nightmare like that on my property. You are not putting stuff in a barn. Like, outside tools go in sheds and stuff, but like, oh my god. Like, I went on a cleaning spree not long ago, and I accidentally threw out all my husband's taekwondo belts. Like, there were a lot. I didn't know what they were in a trash bag that was tied up, and I thought, I was like, I'm just throwing stuff away at this point because I'm in a cleaning spree, and I threw them out, and I had not known what I've done until after they were taken away. But yeah. YouTube channel, Treasure House, and the girl buys a house that belonged to a hoarder? And some cool stuff in the back. do they get condemned? Are they actually like nasty houses? Are they nasty? Because I feel like to go in places like that, you want to have special equipment. You want to have like a mask and gloves on, at the very least, special boots and pants maybe, because like hoarder houses can be kind of dangerous. If I've learned anything from both watching this show, talking to the people who have filmed, and then also, you know, living with a hoarder myself, like hoarder homes can be kind of dangerous. And I know some people who like will try to find valuable stuff in the Goodwill bins too, which is crazy considering someone found a goddamn grenade in one of those fucking bins, and it was a real grenade. It was a real grenade. You need to distinguish between collecting and hoarding. So there's a debate on whether collecting is hoarding, and I don't mean like, oh, you have a stack of Pokemon cards in a folder type of collection, or like me where you have Halloween stuff all over your walls. So there's a difference. Like some people, amiibos, when people have like huge, like, I guess amiibos are a bad example. I just don't like amiibos. When people have these huge collections and they're literally, it piles up on the floor and piles up, like that's when it really becomes hoarding, in my opinion. If it's all neatly, Funko Pops, yep. I still don't understand amiibos and Funko Pops, all of that. I don't understand it. I don't. I probably also because I have trouble, if something doesn't have a place in my house, I don't want it. Like there's a difference. Like obviously some Halloween stuff stays up all year round. I love Halloween, it brings me joy. Some of it goes in its own little section in a bin in the basement, same with Christmas stuff. But like I don't understand just keeping stuff around in the house that's not usable. It's just, I don't understand that. But yeah, hoarding and collecting is technically different, but it's like not all collectors are hoarders, but pretty much all hoarders are collectors, because all hoarders are collecting something, whether that be trash like my mother, or some people it's clothes. Like there was a wealthy hoarder, I remember an episode, and she bought clothes, and these aren't like cheap clothes either. She bought expensive shit, and she had it piled. She had a 2-story home, and one of those piles was almost as big as to the second story. It's insane. But like you have, like, you know what I mean? Like not all collectors are hoarders, but all hoarders are collectors, extreme collectors. I feel like that's a good way of explaining it. Yeah, the house is packed with stuff. No rubbish. That's interesting. What am I stepping on? Oh, okay. But he liked to buy multiples of everything. Oh God, one of those. I was like, one of those. I don't. It's the same thing at the grocery store when like, and it's not like I've never been guilty of doing this, but like when I'll see one person be like, oh, I might need these one day, so I'll buy 20 of them, and like that makes me mad, because I feel bad if I'm the person to take the last like pack of bagels. I feel bad because I'm like, well, what if someone else wants bagels who's gonna show up at the store today and they don't restock before then I feel bad. But like at the same time, I've also been to a store where they had my favorite spaghetti sauce. They had 3 jars left, and I bought all 3 jars because I'm like, this is the first time they've had them in months. Like the jars, I swear they put crack in that sauce, because I don't know what they do to it, but it's a special type of meat sauce from a brand I like, and it's so good, and it's always out of stock because it's so popular. So when I saw 3 jars left, I bought all 3 jars. The difference is that a collector knows what they own. You would be surprised, a hoarder might also know what they own. You stole my— No, I didn't! So I'm sorry, I like bagel. I don't get bagels often because, for those who've been in my community for a while, I have a gluten allergy. I have food allergies, so I can't have gluten or wheat. But yeah, I get the gluten-free bagels, gluten-free bagels. They're so good. Like the particular brand I get, I think, is Char. It's a German brand. They carry it at a lot of stores. It's so good compared to like other bagels that have been like flat, non-fluffy things. It's like, who hurt you? It's like gluten-free stuff. That's another thing that got me into more cooking, is after I realized I had food allergies. It's like when people are like, oh, well, just, you can get this food, and it's just like, it's gluten-free. And then when I taste it, I'm like, who hurt you? Why don't you know how to cook? Do you actually season your stuff? I look at recipes and I'm like, and they'll use like, oh, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon for this pie, and I'm like, are you like, is it Martha Stewart or whatever? Like, are you white womaning the seasoning? Like, what the fuck? Like, where I grew up in Florida, we season our fucking food. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I like spicy food though too, so that might be why. I also grew up in an area that has like, my mom for a while dated someone who is from a Mexican household, and they used a lot of very elaborate spices in their dishes, and I got used to eating those. They were so good. Holy crap, homemade Mexican food is the best. Florida has a lot of Mexican food, by the way. Fucking love it. It is one of my favorite foods, right next to like Asian cuisine. Oh, I love it. And I make my own enchiladas now, and I make the sauce from scratch. I make venison enchiladas and white chicken enchiladas. White chicken is, it's kind of like heavy. It's like strangely heavier compared to the venison enchiladas, and I think it's just because of the white sauce that I make, but it's still good. It just sits a lot heavier in your stomach. But yeah, gluten-free food has improved so much over the decades, but like, I'm just like, for some places that I've eaten at, and I'm just like, because I like to review, I like to actually put Google reviews out for places that I've eaten, and somehow I'm in like the top 10% in like the fucking country for Google reviews. I don't know how. For food reviews, I'm like, does no one else review gluten-free food? Like, people are like, oh yeah, someone finally reviews these restaurants for gluten-free to see if they're getting poisoned or not, because I like to know, is like, do I get glutened afterwards? Is the food actually good? And it's just like, yeah, why don't more people, like, a lot of people should do Google reviews. It's good to know if something is actually like edible, like for food that's going to be gluten-free, right? Levels are a regional thing. Yes. Yeah. It is going to vary, because like I will put, like, my friend Lila, I can't have too much spicy, like too much black pepper. She can't do, which I have to be very careful, because I tend to use a lot of different, when I'm making something like enchiladas, like I use a lot of different spices, including like aging my own jalapenos, which growing and aging your own jalapenos will be 10 times spicier or more than anything you get at the store. Anything at the store is not a true jalapeno. Those things have like no spice to them at all. But when you grow them yourself and you age them to their red, to their bright red, oh, they have like a really sweet spicy to them. It can be a little intense for some people, but like I've eaten a Carolina Reaper on stream before. It's been years, but I ate that whole thing, seeds and all. I bit right in the center. I was like, I mean, it was hot. It was real hot, but I was okay. It was gross though. Carolina Reapers, I don't know why people like, I mean, maybe if you cook with them and add seasoning, they'll be different, but it was just gross. It tasted nasty, like puke. No, ghost peppers actually have, scorpion peppers have a nice taste, I thought. Habaneros, it depends. It really depends. Habaneros are hit or miss for me, depending how they're prepared. Like the little nasty fiery 5 beans. Yeah. Speaking of which, didn't someone super chat? I didn't think I would get super chats, so I made it on Twitch for subs for those spicy beans and stuff. I was like, should I be eating a bean for the super chat? I don't know. I didn't plan for this. I'm really thankful, but I didn't plan for that. What is that, Raj? I don't know how to pronounce that. Indian food spicing there is through the roof. Ooh. To get enough to appreciate it properly. Believe I could love it if I could. Oh. I like to go, so there's I'm in a place that restaurants are very common, and we have so many different types. Indian food around here is huge, and I've been to probably most of the Indian places around here. And what's great about Indian food is it's almost always gluten-free. They don't use wheat in a lot of their stuff, and like 95% of it, Rajasthan, okay. They don't use wheat in their food. So when I get to go there, they're like, yeah, unless you're getting a dessert, you're fine. Like even their appetizers, and it's like the naan bread. I can't have naan bread, and I can't have desserts unless it's the yogurt-based dessert. Otherwise, I'm fine. I can get whatever I want there, and it's great because they're like, yeah, we can cater to people with like celiacs and gluten, wheat allergies and stuff, because they don't really use that in the kitchen, which is great. So I get to get nice Indian food, and I love masala. I love masala. I've had bad curry before, but at a couple places, but there's one particular place that's beautiful on the inside, and it's very small. You have to get there at lunchtime because dinner is insane. and it's just like it takes a while to get you food. It's kind of an experience just to be there, but man, their food is top notch. It looks beautiful. It tastes even better. It's one of those things. We got off topic, but I'm just thinking, I guess because that's like some of the stuff that I did outside of like getting out of the horde. It's like, yeah, I really liked it. I really like loved cooking. I didn't like the horde. Let's get that straight. I don't think anyone does. And I'm so like, Reddit's kind of like both a beautiful and also really strange place, because like there are Reddits that are not friendly at all, and I mean people in general aren't necessarily going to be friendly, but like it's so strange. It's so strange seeing so many people. I didn't know r/hoarders or children of hoarders was a thing, and seeing so many people with such similar stories, it's like it kills me. It's like, oh, I'm not alone, but also fuck. It's like, I'm so sorry. And then some of those people, like I said, they're still going through it, and I as much as I want to like offer advice, I was like, I have experience dealing with it. The problem is a lot of hoarders aren't going to change, I don't think, unless they willingly want to get therapy. A lot of times it's best to remove yourself from that sort of situation if it's possible, to get out as soon as you can, to establish yourself somewhere else, to have your own clean, warm environment where you can still be safe and secure and independent. But again, everyone's different. For those who didn't learn how to be independent because of living with the hoarder, because that's the other side of it. It's either, I think it's like it comes in two sides. Either you become super independent because you learn things, or you become very dependent. You never learned that, and it's like, so when you go out, it's like being lost. It's like, because school's not going to prepare you for, unfortunately, a lot of the things that your parents are supposed to prepare you for, and schools don't pick up that slack for inadequate parents. So that's sad. But like, I fortunately had teachers in high school who helped a lot. Like, they were very understanding. They didn't know what I was going through, but they knew, if that makes sense. Like, they didn't know the extent of what's going on, but they knew there was some stuff going on at home, and that I was strange. So a lot of my teachers were very helpful for me, and like gave me extra time, because like I have sensory issues. I couldn't eat in the cafeteria for the longest time with the rest of the students, because it was too overwhelming for me to be around that much noise. So it was really nice to have like teachers that understood that, to be like, you can eat in the classroom when it's quiet. So I could have like, and I liked it. It's like, yeah, like let me sit in the back of the class if that's what I wanted, because I don't want to be at the front of the class. I don't like raising my hands. But it's like, yeah, I think it's really important to like have some sort of support system if your parents can't be there, because for the longest time I didn't feel like I had that, especially after my brother left. I didn't feel like I had that until like probably my sophomore or junior year of high school, and that I felt like people actually gave a shit about me. And it kind of like, I feel like I could have gone down a very different path had I not met some of the people that I met in high school, who accepted me for who I am and what I was going through, even if they didn't truly understand the extent of it until years later. It's just having people give a shit about you is like one of the most powerful things. Having to do it yourself is, I don't know why people tout it as a strength, because they don't realize how hard it is to go through the world like alone. I feel like everyone needs to have a support system, because if you don't have that, I don't really understand like how you're gonna make it okay in the world. Like, or at least having people there for a while it's like this big weight can be lifted off your shoulders. And whether that's people you have in person, or even just through Discord talking to people or watching movies with them, even if you don't talk about anything serious, it's just having people there, I think can be like almost there, can be therapeutic. It's like I understand now why how like after all this stuff, how service dogs and stuff can help too, because I wasn't really sure. I was unsure when I got my service pup, like how all that was going to work. It's like, well, how is she going to help me? She's a puppy right now. And it's because they pair to make sure you're going to be a good pairing, that this dog is, as they go through training, that you're a good match. and she happened to be a good match. She's a cattle dog, which is strange. You don't see a lot of red healers as service dogs, but she's so smart. She's so smart. Oh my god. It's almost unnerving because she just knows things, guys. I don't know how. She just knows things. Hoarded a crazy amount of stuff. Cars and truck. Oh my god, junkyard. Junk site, and then, oh, yeah, those rose tinted glasses. Sometimes it's like, it usually tends to be only one parent that hoards, right? Because then the other one's like, just looks at the world like the problem doesn't exist, which is a bad problem. But it's like, it's crazy to have like cars and machinery, because that stuff could like help you guys financially, assuming he's not spending more on the machinery and the cars to get them there. I don't know, but that's insane. Because I've seen other hoarders that have like basically junkyards, but they don't like do anything with them, and it's surprising like that the city doesn't get involved. I guess it depends where you live too, because I don't know what city laws and stuff there is with that sort of thing, or if like people just have to complain. But it's like, what do you do with that kind of stuff? And everyone is just like, oh, we'll just give you a fine, but that doesn't target the problem at all. It just makes it harder for the people living there. Like, it doesn't solve anything. There's like, you know, when you think of resources for people out there, they're all hard to get. As someone who's tried to get resources before, succeeded on some of them and not others. People are like, oh, it's so easy to get these things. No, it's really not. And it wasn't easy for my mother to get them either. And unfortunately, there's no resources out there for people who are hoarding. And if you, I mean, there might be support groups out there that you can go to in person for hoarding. That I think support groups are free, but as far as therapy, I mean, you have to have insurance for therapy or pay out of pocket, which we all know in America is not cheap. And there doesn't seem to be anything in laws, like anything that actually helps, that I've come across, that helps people who are hoarders or children of hoarders, which is sad. I know at one point, like, my mom and I were homeless for a while when I was much younger. We ended up living in, and my brother doesn't remember this. I don't know how he doesn't really remember it. But we lived in a women's shelter for a while, and I hated it. It's also probably the reason why I hate just plain white walls. My wall's not white, don't worry. I don't know why it appears white. My wall's actually blue. It's a light blue color, but it's one of the reasons why I hate just plain white, like everything. Like, hospitals will freak me out because like living in that women's shelter was weird. I really hated it. It's like, but when you don't have a place to go, you know, we lived at that. We lived in hotels, extended stays, stuff like that. Not like great experiences. And had my mom had more help early on, maybe it wouldn't have ever gotten to the extent, like, had people helped her, because she had tendencies clearly when, I'm not saying when she was a child, but when she was a younger adult, she clearly had tendencies with her stress that people they just ignored. They didn't address it. They would just clean up after her. It's just like, but you're not addressing she's doing this for a reason, and you're just saying she's lazy. And a lot of people will say that she's lazy. It's not laziness that's doing this to her. I don't believe that's laziness. I think for a lot of people, I think most hoarders, is not laziness. There's something that's preventing them from being able to clean. There's some sort of sense of control that they have lost, and they're seeking to get it back, and they don't know how. So their remedy to this is just to start taking things, and that taking of things and hoarding of things probably hurts other relationships, and those people then don't want to help them. And then they're stuck in this vicious cycle of alienating people, and then they're not getting help, and they're living this, what I can only assume is a miserable life. My mom wasn't happy. I find it hard to believe anyone who hoards is happy. They're doing this for a reason. If they were doing it purely out of laziness, they probably wouldn't be miserable. They need help, and that's why I went to the show, because like, as much as hell as my mom has put me through, I still love her. She has something very wrong with her, and that shouldn't be ignored. And I want her to be able to be a mother. So like, if I want to have that relationship, I had to work for it, and the show was one way I could think of helping to work for that relationship. Relationships are like that. You have to work at them. I mean, maybe not as hard as I have with my mom's. I know some people won't, and that's fair. That's fair. I would never ask anyone to do that, but that's what I did in my situation, because that's how I evaluated it and how I saw it. Is I love my mother and I want her to have a better life. I don't know if that will. I hope she's happier a little bit than what she is now, but I mean, I know she clearly has some more work to do, but she's putting in the work, so clearly something is working out. I gotta get my necklace. I keep looking at my necklace. It's like a fidget toy for me, but I don't know if Ash, if you have a relationship with your dad or your mom still. I know some people alienate one or both parents for a lot of different reasons with the Horde, and I'm just curious how many of you actually have relationships with your parents after the Horde. Or is it a strained relationship? Is it there no relationship anymore? Is it like a great relationship? I mean, it's just one of those things I wonder about, is like, how do other people cope? Like, is it similar? I saw some people who have comments who are similar to me, that like they go on cleaning sprees with the kitchen and like the bathroom, which are my pet peeves. I'm like, I thought, I didn't know that people did that. Or like scrubbing the walls. I saw other people who do that from stress relief. It's like, oh my God, I do that. I have so many similar tendencies to these other people who had parents who were hoarders. And it's like, and they clean a lot because they have to, or some of them really struggle like having anything in the house because of it. I have had to work to be able to not live in an empty fucking house. Because I have to tell you, for a while there, I was very happy with it. But now I'm like, I like things to be cozy. I can have things be, it's taken years of work to be able to allow this shit for my brain. But now instead of stressing me out, makes me happy. Because I also love Halloween, so it makes it like a lot better. So I've bought like some art and some lights and stuff. But I am curious. I don't know if, like I said, if I'll make more Hoarders content. There's a possibility that will happen. There's honestly a probability, at least I'll make one more video with something Hoarder related. I don't know what it will be exactly, and honestly, if I get halfway through an episode and I just can't do it, then I won't have one. I will give it a shot, I suppose, to see if I can offer any insight. But if I can't offer anything helpful, I don't really think it'd be a good video to make. Like, what I feel weird as an outside perspective. Yeah, I may have lived with my mom. I may be a child of a hoarder. I may have been on the show, but I still don't know these people, and it feels weird to try to judge their lives. Like, yeah, I can make jokes and not like oh, I don't actually mean that. I can make jokes like I did with my hoarder video. God knows I needed to. But I don't know if I'm going to do that. I feel like it could be weird. You do have a relationship with your mother. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, if that was his choice, unfortunately, and you are not in the wrong. I think that's the important thing, is like, you left and live in a clean place, and that is the correct, that was good for you, so that was the correct thing to do. It's sad that he chose to not have you in his life anymore, but if you're mentally healthier because of it, then that's good. Because there's also that edge, is sometimes you have to know when to just not deal with any of it anymore. If your mental health can't take it, then they need to understand, and if they don't understand, then is the relationship still worth it? Yep, you gotta learn how to set boundaries. Sometimes those boundaries can be really harsh. From your own perspective, is that of surviving your parents' problems? Yeah, it'd be hard because it's like, what did they? I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of like flashbacks, like editing style in there, but like, because I feel like a lot of things they're gonna say is probably a lot of things my mom said, potentially, because it's been a long time since I've seen a Hoarders episode besides the one that I filmed this summer when I reacted to my mom's, which I could have done a much better job editing. I'm gonna be real honest. I like how I edited some of my other videos way more, but it was a learning process. But yeah, I could try. I don't it like that's gonna be a bit of a tougher one. But I also need to get through the other videos that I've made. I need to finish editing them and get those out because those are my priority right now because I still have Halloween videos to get out and I haven't gotten them out because I had to take a break. And then some of them involve kind of like moving around, which right now is kind of hard to do. I mean, I'm doing it. I probably shouldn't be, but I was like, man, I hope I can move around more because I want to show off my shitty cosplays. I did bargain bin cosplays. I took things at Spirit Halloween. I took pictures of the price, and then I decided then I went to Goodwill and tried to assemble each costume for less than $10. I'm gonna let you guys assume how well that went. It stuck with your oh. Made you much more of a, yeah. The roaches. I'm sorry. I understand that entirely. We didn't have roaches. But we had other bugs in the house. So, if there's like tissues or cups like on the counter or somewhere, like especially like plastic ones, but ones that are not actively being used, like I have a huge problem with that. Like it's grinding my gears doesn't quite cut it. I'm making a joke there, but like, yeah, hi Paul. And I just yeah, I think it's very 50-50 when it comes to children of hoarders, whether if you're a neat freak or I don't know, there could be a middle line because some people like do have problems with like hoarding after living with a hoarder. A lot of people also like go the opposite direction like me, where you become an OCD neat freak and you have trouble coping with an unclean space at all. It's like, oh god, my place is filthy and my friend's coming over, and then she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's sparkling in here. And I'm like, there's a dish in the sink, it's filthy, it's disgusting, and then there's dog fur on the rug, even though I just vacuumed it 10 minutes ago, you know? But I found, like I said, what's helped me has been therapy, a network of friends that care, my animals, especially my dog who's trained, helps me a lot, and then gummies have also helped on my bad days where I have a lot of trouble coping. A gummy will help like quiet the the horrible like flashbacks and stuff. Like the gummies just sit there and I'm like, okay, I can actually function like a human being now and do stuff. And like I've actually like started running, and I'll have a gummy in my system, and I'll go like I mean I haven't run in a while now. It's like I bike, but I'll go biking and I'm just like, okay, I'm good, I'm just gonna be very calm and sit here and listen to ASMR or some music. I keep waiting for my cat to jump in my background, and I'm so surprised he has not showed up. He always shows up, and he's not here, and I'm like, Cetra, where are you? He's always, even if you don't see him, he's usually in the rooms crying at me because he wants uppies because he wants to be in my lap. You don't always see him because sometimes he's below, he's sitting on my lap, and I'm like, he's not here. I don't know, he must be taking his afternoon nap. But yeah. Let me get some water. How are you guys? I'm sure, like, I know I made some jokes in there because joking is kind of how I cope with it. I'm curious if a lot of other people joke about living in the hoard, and if that's how they cope with it. You know what I mean? Also, now that I have, now that I have access to having like ice water, I drink ice water all the time. I can't drink lukewarm water. Because of living in the hoard, I cannot do lukewarm water or room temp. It has to be cold water, like ice cold water is what I have to drink. That sounds like a weird, I don't know if that's a weird thing. It's like, because I can't, room temperature water is just bad for me. It's bad for my brain. It's a weird, stupid thing too to attribute to the hoard, I feel like. But it's like, yeah, no, because I have a working clean fridge where I have ice and water dispenser. My water dispenser's on the inside of the fridge instead of the outside, but which is kind of weird, but you know, it also is better for the fridge lifespan apparently. But and having like, one of my big pet peeves too is the fridge, because of the extent of my mom's previous fridges, both on the show and well before that. Holy shit. I have to everything, like, it doesn't matter if it's organized really, stuff can just go in the fridge. I don't actually care about that, but I freak out if it's too empty or too full. It has to be a comfortable middle ground. If we don't have enough in it, I feel like I'm going to starve again because I didn't get a lot of food as a child. And if we have too much in it, it's like, oh god, it's too much, it's overflowing, we need to start throwing stuff away even if it's still good. So I try to keep a comfortable middle ground and have everything organized. Like, I love fruit, so I'll try to have a mixed amount of frozen fruit and fresh fruit, and also counter fruit, because not all stuff needs to go in the fridge. Don't put your potatoes in the fridge, don't put your tomatoes or your bananas or your apples. That can all go on the counter and it'll be better tasting for it. But excuse me, I hope you didn't hear that. It's just one of the things, like, the fridge is always going to probably be a pet peeve of mine, and like seeing other people's fridges, and I know sometimes they'll like get embarrassed. I'm like, don't fucking be embarrassed. Have you seen my mom's fridge? Have you seen my mom's fridge? But it used to, no, I was like, I can clean this, I can clean it all. I was like, I feel like I'm at times an extreme cleaner, and there's parts of me, like I said, when no one's home and I'm cleaning, I fucking love it. But it can be also dangerous, because like my husband used to have to actually go to work in person, and then he would come home and I had been cleaning for 6 hours straight in the basement. Like, I was hand scrubbing the basement floor like a fucking maniac. And I was like, he's like, what happened? I was like, one of the cats puked on the basement floor, so I scrubbed it. And then sometimes our other cat, or one of our cats, is older with health issues, so occasionally he has an accident, and I'm like, well, it's time to scrub. Put on the glove. I don't like touching stuff though, so I always wear gloves. I always wear gloves, and then I wash the gloves, because God forbid my fucking hands touch anything. I don't like it. In the same way with the gloves, or with the cleaning spree. Did you also, Numik, did you also have that experience, just like, oh nope, gotta, or is it the fridge, the cleaning spree? I love cleaning being, yes, see, yes, because if you're alone, you don't have to worry about people popping in on you unexpected and getting thrown off. I get so freaked out. I was like, oh god, if someone comes up behind me, and I'm like, and I like freak out. I was like, I want to be alone. Was it TV? Yeah, the TV crew was very, I went over this a little bit ago. The TV crew was actually very respectable. They were very, actually, it goes beyond respect. They were very nice and caring, and actually like talking us through situations, especially my mom who needed it. The actual clinical psychologist, the lady, wasn't there for majority of the filming. She just kind of popped in and out of her trailer. She spent a lot of time in her trailer. She spent a little bit of time, she spent a little bit of time with my mom, but like I didn't really talk to her much at all. Like I talked to her very little. And I was like, I don't know. Corey though, Corey was a champ. He helped us so much. He was a wonderful person to work with. Him, and then like the people who did the sound and the camera were so nice. Telling us like both funny stories, and then like also like kind of like horror stories from the Hoarders stuff that didn't get aired. We talked a little bit about that. And another, like, oh, they also told us a little bit about Animal Hoarders too, but that's, I can't. That's when I get a little, it's like, Animal Hoarding is a very sour, leaves a very sour stomach, and it's a very, very sensitive topic for me. But my mom didn't animal hoard, but we did have a dog, and that dog was not well taken care of. And my brother and I mean, we're kids, we can only do so much, but like we loved our dog, but she deserved better than what she got in that hoard. And then also we had cats. We had a cat that we took in that was a stray that gave birth, and 'cause she was pregnant apparently, and we took in her kittens, and then we did end up, I mean, they still deserve better. She got her and her one of her kittens got adopted out though to a different family, so that's good. But yeah, animal hoarding is like, I don't know, I feel worse for the animals that we had than I do for myself. I was like, man, they deserve better. Or for like other people, because like I at least can think I have some choices, even if it's not a lot as a child, but the animal has none. And Mom's fridge is usable. That's good. She just shove things in it and absolutely, oh, I fucking hate that. If it doesn't, you just can't take like an hour to clean it. Like, I know it has to take time to get up to temp, But if like you just like toss everything and scrub it and put it back in, give it a couple hours to get back up to 10, just in case, I don't know how long it spends open. It really bugs me when I see people like take butter, you know, things that are supposed to be in the refrigerator, and then they're left out, and they still use the butter, but they never put it in the fridge. It never goes, they leave it on the counter all the time. Like, how the fuck are you not sick? You're not getting the stuff that's okay to sit on the counter. That stuff's meant to go in the fridge. I don't know how the fuck you aren't sick. I mean, they do get sick. They've gotten food poisoning multiple times. I just don't know. I was like, why don't you just put it in the fridge? But then there's not room in the fridge, so you know, things happen. It's like the fridges is like, as much as I love cleaning them, I cannot have someone breathe down my neck about it, because if they're like, oh, I want to see, like, oh, it's still good, it's like, there's nothing good about this. It's 5 years old. Like, that's not okay to keep around. I don't want to keep anything that's expired in the house. And I'm glad, like, a usable fridge is still very good, but I just don't get how people, like, unless you're feeding like yourself, like a bunch of people in the household, there's no reason for it to be packed full like that. I want to just keep stuff that I'm absolutely gonna cook, or like condiments, but even condiments you want to check them on a regular basis, because once the expiration date hits, they need to go in the trash, or if they've been open for a while, they need to go in the trash. Maybe I'm just like over like looking at things, like I don't want to keep things in there that have, it's like we're not using it and it hasn't been, if we're not using it, it doesn't stay in there. I will say though, I do keep oats around. Well, I also go through oats kind of quick though. I was like, I keep a lot of oats around, but I also eat oatmeal and like overnight oats, and I bake with them. So like, and because gluten-free oats come in a fairly small container, I have to buy multiples, which sucks because they come in such a small thing. They used to come in much bigger containers. They don't anymore. But yeah, I like to make, like, I don't know. The fridge is going to always be, I feel like that's something I'm never going to conquer fully, is like the fridge. Like it's always going to have to be that like middle ground of not having enough stuff in there, but not too much stuff. It has to be that right amount so I don't freak out. It's just like, yep. And this is why, like, I don't go to the grocery store like twice a month or whatever. I was like, I go every like 2 or 3 days. I pick up some things and put it in there. Like, I don't, if I'm gonna, I was like, oh, this is what the plan is for dinner, I'm gonna go up and pick up the things, because I can't plan super great either when it comes to meals. Like, I was like, okay, I know what we need, but I don't like to have too much shit in the fridge. So we go to the store as we want to make dinner, you know, or make breakfast or whatever it is that we want to make. Maybe that's too like neurotic, but that's how I get through some of the stuff. And I also clean my kitchen as I know a lot of people will cook and not clean it. I clean as I go. Like if I'm cooking and I'm making, I don't usually make a mess, but like I still clean as I go, so I don't have a huge amount to clean up afterwards. It keeps the count. It just makes it, I want things to look clean. I just need them to look clean as going, because I feel much more comfortable when my space around me is like really orderly and clean and doesn't have crumbs everywhere, or God knows what else. It's just like when we've had flies, like fruit flies before, like fairly recently. We don't know where they came from. It wasn't, honestly, they weren't bad, but having just a couple of them, it's like, where did you come from? It's like there's 5 of them. It's like cats aren't doing, it's like, okay, so we just got it. It's because we had banana peels in the trash and we just needed to take it out. But it's like, I can't stand flies. It freaks me out having any flies in the house. Or if we get the big flies and the cats suck at hunting, our dog is better at getting flies than the cats, and that's saying something. Our cats suck at hunting bugs at all, unless they're centipedes, in which case our older cat will just eat them. Like, we get those house centipedes, which aren't associated with any sort of anything in the house. House centipedes, if you have a basement, you have house centipedes. They get in through anything, literally anything they will get into. You have a basement, they're in your house. That's what I've learned. I hate them. They're so creepy. Leftovers are a huge problem. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people, like, I know a lot of people who've had issues with like I'm okay with leftovers, but I almost always go through them like within a day or two, and then, you know, containers get washed or thrown out if they're not washable. Containers, and would never eat them. Yeah, that was my mom, because she would get to go and then wouldn't have room in the fridge, or would try to put it in the fridge or put it on the counter, and then it would just rot and never get taken. And she would take a bunch of utensils and other stuff from various fast food places. do I have stress with virus stuff? I keep things very clean. I am a bit of a germaphobe. I will say that. I like to clean with gloves on. Honestly, I don't think it's excessive. Like, yes, I don't like touching much of it. I don't even like touching the steering wheel of my car, to be honest. But that's because it's like getting like weird and like baked in the sun, and it needs to have like something go over it, because it's not even like it's not cleanable. It's clean. It just is like, I don't know. There's just something on it I don't like. But for, oh, you mean COVID, quarantine. Sorry, it's been 5 years, and it's been a weird 5 years. I thought quarantine was great. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we couldn't go out and do a lot of stuff, but it's not like I did anyway. So it was like, okay, not seeing some of like my close friends sucked. That part did suck, and going to the stores and having to worry about touching stuff or masks working correctly, like, because I was never sure if I had my mask on correctly, because yeah, it covered my nose, but I'm like, is it tight enough? Is it too tight? Like, you know. But that's why we also did our best if we could, because they had free grocery delivery for a while, so that was really nice. COVID, honestly, if the first year, like, yeah, it gets old over time, but like the first year wasn't terrible, I don't think. I got to play a lot. My husband got to work from home. I got to play a lot of video games because I was working at an office, and then they tried to go work from home, and then that didn't really work out because they started going under, and then, you know, and then they went under as a company, so they didn't survive. Which, to be fair, I didn't work for like a great company, so I don't fuck them. They didn't give me my last paycheck, and we noticed that they were skimming. After me and my former coworkers got together, we noticed they were skimming more than just taxes off our every paycheck that we got. We're like, we actually worked. We tracked our hours of what we logged and what they were paying us, and there was a discrepancy. There was a fairly noticeable discrepancy of like 15% on all of our checks, and we're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why are our paychecks not as high as they should be? Like, taxes don't accumulate for that missing like percentage. So that was odd. No, I didn't know. I just, my brain sometimes works weird, Paul. It just kind of works a little weird. So yeah, quarantine honestly wasn't that bad. I got to watch a lot of YouTube during that time, got introduced to ASMR. I started Twitch in 2021, I believe. Was it 2021? I think it was I started with Phasmo. That's when I started, because I was like, I got bored enough and I wanted to talk to people and connect, because I couldn't really be out. So I was like, okay, so yeah, I'll start Twitch and talk to people that way. And I feel like that really benefited, like, I feel like COVID benefited Twitch and a lot of like online stuff a lot, because then people were socializing online. Got a lot. I was already like a gamer, but I got a lot more into gaming. I just didn't do, I used to just do like League of Legends a lot. I was good at League of Legends too, but I never played it on this current computer. I stopped playing it because I can't remember my account. It's under an email address I no longer have access to, and I had bought skins on there and earned free skins that you can't get anymore. And I'm like, no, I worked so hard for some of those skins. I love horror games. I discovered that through quarantine. Go figure. Go figure. I discovered horror games. The only thing I say that quarantine really sucked is I love to go to the movies, and I couldn't do movies. I couldn't do haunted houses those first 2 years, which ate away at me for a bit, because I'm a haunted house person. I love movies. Resident Evil, that's arguably horror, I know, but it is kind of horror. I love the Resident Evil franchise. I love Silent Hill-like games. I'm not... Silent Hill 2 Remake I loved. I loved that game. I have watched Gab Smulders play Silent Hill F, and I watched other videos of explaining everything and watched more of her stuff, and I'm like, I love how she does it. I'm not a big fan of Silent Hill F. It's fine as a game. It doesn't strike me as Silent Hill, though. It just felt off for a Silent Hill game. Then again, they haven't had a lot of bangers in a while. A Silent Hill 2 Remake was an exception. I'm playing Tormented Souls 2 currently. I'll be playing more of that tomorrow, probably before my cardiologist appointment, because I forgot I had one till they called me, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. I was like, yeah, it's just a checkup, so I have to make sure I go do that, get my yearly or 6-month yearly EKG or whatever, make sure my heart's doing good. But yeah, I love games. I wear my Fitbit to track. Sometimes when I'm playing a horror game, it thinks I'm working out because my heart rate's so high. And I'm like, it's not high. It's not high. I'm not working out, Fitbit. But it's like, yes, you are. Your heart rate's high. You're working out. It's like, who needs to? I mean, I still do work out, but it's like, yeah, when you're exhausted after playing a horror game, I don't know. I like feeling that controlled fear, if that makes sense, because it's a game. I know I'm getting scared. I'm allowing myself to get scared, but I also know it's not real, and I've also and I like that. I want to play that one so bad. Tormented Souls 2 or which one? I mentioned a couple games. Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill F. I can't recommend Silent Hill F, unfortunately. I'm trying to think. I used to play a ton of Phasmophobia, like a lot. I've played, honestly, a lot of horror games, and I've made quite a few friends via Twitch. Some I've actually met in person during this, and it's like it's nice to like have people like, hey, I like horror games, you like horror games, and you kind of get in Discord, and then you finally meet in, you know, real life. It's been, I don't know, Twitch has been a nice community to just like play games with people, because that's all I wanted. I wanted to play games and explore games and just chat with people like on the internet and see like, oh, do you want to, if they, you know, some of them play games with me too. I used to do, and one thing I've learned is not to do random lobbies anymore, because I used to do that in Phasmo. Sometimes, you know, it worked out fine. Other times it was not fine. Sometimes it was not fine. Had some interesting situations though of doing that, but yeah, it's just sometimes it's like, oh, hi. And get to talk occasionally with game devs, which is really cool, and provide feedback for the games, which is something I'm not used to doing, but I like is describing what I like and dislike about certain games, especially since I'm a stickler for details, which for some indie games I can let it pass, because like I know like they're working with extremely limited funding, and sometimes it's just one person or a very small team. In Sound Mind is one of my favorite games ever. It's a psychological horror. It's one of the first, or maybe the first, psychological horror game I ever played on stream, and it still sticks in my mind because I've played it more than once. It's still so fucking good. I cannot wait for them to come up with their next game. I know it's gonna be a while. Love Balatro, even though it's not a horror game. I love Balatro. It's kind of addicting. Even though I hate gambling in real life, I don't do it, but Balatro is just a game. It doesn't require any real money other than buying it, and it was gifted to me, which was great. And I love playing it. It's been a wonderful game. I'm trying to think. I have a lot of games on Steam. I've also modded some games. I do a lot of VR chat, and because I got a headset this year, a MetaQuest, I believe a MetaQuest. So I do VR chat horror worlds, mostly horror worlds. I do other hangout worlds too, but I meant to make a video before Halloween, but you know, life sometimes is a way of catching up with you. I will eventually release some VR chat videos, but one of the worlds made me fucking scream. It should have had no right. It had no right making me scream, but like I didn't even record, because I recorded one VR chat video before my Hoarders video, and that had Stalker in it. But then this new one, so we went into one, I'm like, why was this so scary? And I was in it with friends. I wasn't even alone. And like, oh god, I'm gonna have to do this without like alone for the video, and I'm gonna be freaking the fuck out. But yeah, lots of different. Psychological horror is still my favorite genre. I love like Silent Hill adjacent games, like ones that are similar to it. Love indie horror games. I know it's hit and miss, but even the cheesy ones, like I like playing with them or playing them. Sometimes talking is like super hard. I have a lot of horror games on my docket. I just kind of got caught up in Tormented Souls, and also with, you know, making videos, because I like to make fun of Ghost Adventures and think Zach Vegas is entirely ridiculous, because I don't really believe in ghosts. But it's also why I've been on Paranormal Investigations, and I'm that one person who like, I have to go to the bathroom and go, like, get to go alone. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what about the ghost? I'm like, if the ghost pops up in the toilet, it's getting pissed on. Like, I don't care. If there's ghosts and it's real, then yeah, okay, I don't care. Now, there's a reason to be said. That was an actual building still with like, not condemned, but if you're going in the middle of the nowhere, don't go by yourself. Ghosts aren't the issue, people are. You don't want to be like stuck alone and have some random person show up. Safety in numbers. If you're going out to explore stuff, guys. Why does my camera keep moving? Keeps adjusting. Safety in numbers is very important. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. I've been yapping for 3 hours and 15 minutes or so. Probably, well, I probably ran 15 minutes of like starting soon. So like 3 hours of talking. And I want to go make lunch. I drink some water, maybe have some more coffee too. But yeah, I want to go do that. And I want to go hang out with my animals and maybe play some Elden Ring. Because it's kind of, but good yapping. Yeah, I'll be back. Is tomorrow Friday? Yeah. So tomorrow I'll be back at, I was supposed to stream at noon. I'll probably stream closer to 11 or 11:30 and only stream for about 2 hours because I have an appointment that I forgot about. But I'll still be streaming tomorrow between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tormented Souls 2. It'll be a shorter stream because, you know, it'll be a shorter stream because I have a doctor's appointment that I forgot about, but I'm still going to stream tomorrow, okay? That is the plan. Thank you guys for listening to me yap. I feel like this was kind of awkward. I hope it wasn't awkward. I was very nervous. I was shaking before stream to talk about this because I was like, oh man, like I'm not used to just doing a just chatting stream. I almost always like play games while I'm talking, right? Or watch weird videos and, you know, do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. I mean, if you ever need to watch a playback, for the questions, and I know I get really like I talk about other things a lot, but I hope I answered a lot of questions about the Hoarders thing, about the editing process and how like getting through like how it was kind of like before the filming and like after the filming. I didn't get too personal because there are a lot of things I could talk about, but I don't know if those are like anywhere YouTube appropriate, and I don't really, you know. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow with streaming for Tormented Souls, probably on both Twitch and YouTube, but we shall see. I really hope you guys have like have a wonderful weekend with Friday on, you know, holidays coming up. Try not to get too stressed. You know, a lot of people get stressed with the holidays. I've taken an approach, especially after COVID, I don't really get too stressed over the holidays. It's wonderful now because I don't really go anywhere. I kind of just like stay home and make my own food, and sometimes have a couple friends over to be like, hey, eat this food that I made. Come one, come all, come eat these cookies and pie and whatever else the hell I decide to whip up. It's usually a weird hodgepodge of different food. But yeah, have a good Thursday, and thank you everybody for listening to me. And I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for joining me. Bye.